Welcome to Directly to You. It's episode 15. I'm AJ of Redirect. I'm joined by Dan again. We're back on the fives. He's Dan from that cyber.
We're back on the fives.
That cyber, whatever his channels are called now.
Just Dan Cyber
Dan
live
Cyber
on
live
Twitch.
on Twitch. Is it still that cyber channel on YouTube, or is it Dan Cyber?
It's Dan Cyber on YouTube.
Oh my god! Go back to channel. I hated it. You know what? You get on my nerves with names in general, because even back then I was like, you're annoying because you're that cyber guy when it's like the social media accounts and the channel.
I know.
But at least that's easier to remember. It's not like I gotta be like, wait, that one's for Twitch and that one's for YouTube.
I know. Well, someone took Dan Cyber live or Dan Cyber on Twitch. And so until I find them and defeat them, that's what it is.
Yeah. All right. GG's. Fair enough. Anyway, we're here to talk about stuff and things. And initially what we were going to do, and we're going to do it still, but just less of it. We were going to talk about Hollow Knight Silksong, and well, originally we were going to talk about Donkey Kong Bonanza, because that was Dan's homework between the last time he was on the show and this time. But then Hollow Knight Silksong came out and a whole bunch of other stuff happened. But there's a Nintendo Direct, and that's probably one of the things that's in the title or thumbnail. So you probably are here for thoughts on that. It's not out yet. we didn't see it. It happens on Friday. We're recording this on Wednesday. This goes up on Thursday. So
yeah, we don't know.
We have no idea what's going to happen. So let's talk about what we want to happen and or what we think is going to happen. There's some rumors floating around that we could touch on. Like, it's rumored that we're supposed to get a series of 7s. We're supposed to get Final Fantasy 7 revealed. Well, we already know remake, but Rebirth is supposed to be confirmed or something. And then Resident Evil 7 is supposed to be confirmed. There's a rumor about a new Pokemon spin-off announcement. There's a rumor about all the re-engine Resident Evil games are supposed to be confirmed. There's a series of rumors. Mario's birthday is also happening tomorrow. So, and it's his 40th birthday. So that's probably going to
It's a big deal.
Play into something. What do we think?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a question of like how much of the 7s is really true. I mean, I could see.
What would the other 7 be?
I have no idea. I can't think of like another 7. Like, sure, maybe RE7 like goes on to the Switch too, which I mean is a great game, but also feels kind of like empty at this point in time.
Yeah, because we already have, but it was a cloud game, but it was on the original Switch, and it's an old game. Like, and the next Resident Evil is coming out, so like I could see them doing that because that's what they did when they announced 8. Was they were like, yo, or is it 9? Is 9 9's the next one, right?
9's the next one.
9's the next one. So when they announced 9, it was a bunch of like, here's old games, and that's cool, but like, here's a new game, and it's happening eventually. And then they brought it back again and said it's coming sooner than you thought. Maybe that's what they do here, and they're like, here's a bunch of old ones, but also the new one is coming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I understand putting RE2, 3, and 4. Like the remakes on Switch 2.
Built-in nostalgia.
Easy.
And,
yeah, that's an easy win. I don't like, it's the idea that out of all of the REs, 7's the one that they want to make a big deal out of. That doesn't make any sense. I could see them teasing that they're bringing Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, because we're already doing Intergrade.
Yeah, and they already confirmed it. Like, we just haven't seen it. So like we get more of a formalized announcement that Rebirth will be on there. But like, as far as I can't think of any other 7's that make sense to me that would really grab my attention, you know? Killer 7.
Killer 7.
That's the only other 7 I could think of. What other 7's are there?
Mario 7. They go
Mario Party 7.
Mario. Was that a good
one?
I
There's Mario Kart 7. I think so. People hate every Mario. So here's the thing: Mario Party feels to me at least until the Wii, like end of Wii or like Wii U life of Mario Party, it feels like everybody hates the newest one until the next new one comes out, until the
Yes.
Wii era, and then everybody hated everything until Super Mario Party came out, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is like, we're getting back. Like, I don't love this, but I like it more than what they did before, and then it started being every new one is good again. So I think that 7 is one of the ones that people think of as good. It's just not as good as like the early GameCube or like late N64 Mario parties. That said, I don't think this has anything to do.
No.
Mario
I will
Kart
say,
7.
I bet you we do see some new GameCube titles coming.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know which one. Well,
that's a guarantee.
So we know that there are more. And maybe I mean, they said it was a new spinoff, but it could be a double whammy of some sort. They said the Pokemon spinoff. I don't know what that is. Me personally, if it's anything, I hope it's not anything that we've had before. There's not really a Pokemon spinoff game that I'm like, ooh, I hope they make a new one of this. Like, ooh, I hope they make a new Pokemon Stadium. For what? Why? What does that do? We have Champions, which is like literally just that, without the mini games, I guess.
Yeah, well, and it also just kind of like
Pokemon
Coliseum
Rangers could be cool.
Yeah, like Coliseum and God, whatever the other one was, I'm blanking on it right
XD.
now. Stadium.
Oh yeah, Stadium.
Like Coliseum and Stadium. The whole like fun why those kind of came into existence is because now your Pokemon are 3D.
Yeah,
and you can play them on a.
Coliseum's kind of the opposite. A little bit, where like,
is it?
So Stadium set that precedent of what you're talking about, where it's like, cool, they're 3D now, but Coliseum is like, yeah, we got 3D or whatever, and that's fine. But you never had an RPG Pokemon game on your console before, and that's what that was.
Oh, got
it. But and both of them are now irrelevant because the thing about Coliseum and the reason why I personally do not like them, despite the fan base, like Sierra plus Ultra, that's like one of her favorite Pokemon games. I hate Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness because they do the thing that I hate about a lot of spin-off Pokemon games where they flatten flatten what Pokemon is. It's like, it's not a new different thing. It's just the thing that we have already lasered in a very specific way, where it's like, yo, you know how it's cool to be able to like build your team and stuff like that. Here's a total of 60 Pokemon. Have fun. Like.
Yeah.
I don't think the pomp and circumstance of Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness is worth cutting down the roster of like catchable Pokemon by that much. That said, we don't need to do that anymore because now we just get the game. And, it's crazy because people love those games and they hate the Switch era, and it was like this whole big controversy for Sword and Shield to be like, it's Dexit and blah blah blah. Pokemon Sword and Shield have 600 Pokemon. XD has like 80.
Yeah.
So what's up with that? Like, people are inconsistent and I hate them. But so I think that we could, all of that said, I think that this might be the time when they're like, even though it could be a Pokemon Day thing, but they confirmed this already, so it's already happening, I think this could be a good moment for them. Like, here's XD and Coliseum or whatever on the GameCube app. And maybe they use it. If it is a new spinoff, maybe they use that to be like, okay, and here's a new game that we're announcing. And while you're hype about the new game that'll come out in 6 months or whatever, here's the game that you could play in a week. The GameCube ones, like that whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like other things, I would like a little bit more Metroid 4 news, but I also know that just might be, maybe they have a little bit more gameplay to show, but I think at this point in time,
Here's my hot take. I think the Prime 4 news is like, here's Prime 4. It's coming out in October. I think that's what we get. I think that's the trailer that we get. Yeah.
Yeah. I could see a release date dropping, but I also think like as far as like any extra information, we're not going to get anything. They'll just be like, get ready for the Metroid Prime 4 Direct. We will do 3 weeks before it drops.
Yeah.
And we all go, okay. See you then.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
My only thing would be I wonder how they're going to do it. Because I do think that,
Mhm.
like, I don't think that they're delaying it. I think that the only time that it could come out, just based off of the calendar that we know, I think it's either an October game or it's a December game. I
Yeah, we
think
were we
that,
were talking about this last time on
mm,
what the holiday game was going to be.
yeah, and now we know it's Kirby Air Riders, which is strange.
Mhm.
Or another thing, and here's the thing, because we know, Mario's birthday and blah, blah, blah. And Nintendo kind of likes to do the, like, rated R movie paired with like rated G kid thing. Like
Sure,
they like to be
sure,
like,
sure.
everybody's out spending money now. Here's options. So like I could see a world where like they do October and they say like it's coming out same day as Pokemon. Everybody's buying Pokemon and you're spending money on Pokemon, and here's also Metroid. Or it could be we get a confirmation for whatever the Mario thing is. If we do get a Mario thing this year, I think we're going to get a Mario announcement, 3D Mario, whatever it is. I think we get that either way. I just don't know if it's a game that's coming out now or if it's a game that's coming out in March or but either way, I think that if that's what happens and we get, maybe Mario is like a October or November game, right? And that's what they do is they pair Mario with either Metroid or Kirby, and then they pair something else, like another big thing, whatever doesn't get paired with that, with another big thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Assuming that nothing gets delayed, because they've been firm on the fact that Metroid Prime 4 is supposed to come out this year. So I
Yes.
mean, the window for time for them to be able to announce it is there's only but so many dates we got left.
Dude, it's wild to think that we're already in September.
Yeah, crazy.
Like, it's crazy that we're already in September.
Post COVID
Like,
time is fake. It's just always has been.
it's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah, I could see an October release. I think Metroid fits out of like all of Nintendo's properties. Metroid is the spookiest
Hey
of the
man,
bunch.
you're forgetting about Luigi's Mansion.
Spookiest of the bunch.
That's the spookiest one. Man.
Spookiest of the bunch.
That's the spookiest one.
Um, but like at the same time, it's really hard to tell just because there's so limited stuff that's been shown about it.
Yeah.
Well,
we saw a decent amount of stuff because they did a whole freaking treehouse. They played that game for like 2 hours or something like that, all told.
Oh, did I miss the tree? I must have missed the treehouse then.
Yeah.
Because as far as I could tell, is like we got a trailer, some gameplay, and then a high five.
Yeah, no, we got a decent amount of gameplay.
Okay, I should go back and check that out.
And plus, people have been playing it. That's been demoable a few times. It was demoable at the Switch 2 event. I think it was PAX, most recently PAX West. So I don't know.
I've clearly have been in my own separate world and completely forgot to check it. That's on me. Okay. I mean, I bet you we get a release date then. I think we could confidently say we'll get some sort of release date, or the disappointing news where they'll be like,
it's delayed.
And unfortunately,
again.
we have to push it. And I'll be like, no, you kidding me? You can't do this to me.
I mean, I'm starting to think, like, for a long time, I thought for most of the time that we knew it existed and we didn't know anything and we never saw any gameplay, I was like, maybe this is them being like, we want to give Metroid its Breath of the Wild moment. But now the closer that we get to the game and the least they talk about it, I kind of feel like they just sort of want to like not send it out to die, because I don't think they think it's going to die. But I think that they're just like, the game's going to do what it's going to do. We believe in it. We think it's good. But no amount of like hard marketing push is going to change what it's going to do one way or the other. And I think that would be the only real reason that you push it out very far, especially since they're so like forthcoming with the demos. Like the game has to be in a like pretty close state to being done with how like liberal they are with their demos. So I don't know. I think that's what it is. I think the only reason to delay it is if they think that they can get 10 million units out of this, but I think that they're resigned to the idea that they can't. So they're just like, hey, the game is what the game is.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see what they're going to do with the price tag on that one. I don't
I
think
mean,
they're
well, we
going to
already
go for
know,
the
right?
80.
I think because this
Do
is
we?
well, so we don't.
Am I just this out of the loop and just haven't been paying
So we don't,
attention?
but I think we do. I think it's because it's a Switch game, so it's going to be. I think it's going to be 60 on Switch, and then I would assume that the Switch 2 price is 80. I mean, no, 70. I think the Switch 2 price is 70.
70 was probably right.
Yeah. I think that it's going to be a $10 upgrade pack, and it's Pokemon Legends EA. I think that's what the situation is going to be. I just never really thought about the price of the game because that I've already decided in my head that that's my voucher game. I have one more Switch voucher, and I was going to use it on ZA, but then I talked to Mega Man, so I'm gonna get it from Narnia so I can stream it a day early.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, beyond that, I feel like I think it would be absolutely crazy for them, as we kind of mentioned earlier. I think it'd be absolutely insane for them to not do something Mario.
They need to do something Mario
related.
They have to. I don't know if it's coming out this year again. That I'm losing a little bit of faith on because now we know that Kirby is their holiday game. But it could, and that's the thing. That's what like Metroid I think will answer a lot of things because like they could do 3D Mario and that could be their October game because October has become like their like secondary holiday slot. Like years when there's some years where November is their holiday game, like traditional, and there's other years where October is. When the original Switch came out, Breath of the Wild was March, obviously, but Mario Odyssey was October. So that could be this Mario too.
It could be. That would be too weird. I realized they just released what Mario Wonder was.
That was
it last 2024 or 2023?
2023.
I feel like it was 2023.
Yeah, I think it was 2023.
I always wonder if they'll instead of like an Odyssey, they'll do something like Wonder or 3D World where it's like it's Mario, but it's not quite Mario. Like it's not like the 3D Mario, I
mean, I wouldn't be surprised by that in the sense, like as far as like for marketing, Yeah. But like in terms of development, I would be surprised by that.
I would be surprised.
Because there's the 2D Mario guys and there's the 3D Mario guys. You know what I mean? And we know a lot of the 3D Mario team, as far as again we know, they're working on Bonanza, but the director of Mario Odyssey is nowhere to be seen for that.
He's just
Koizumi,
gone.
What's he doing? I think that Koizumi is probably working on a 3D Mario game, but we'll see. TBD on that.
Yeah. Wonder if they just release the Super Mario Ultimate, like All Stars, which just has all the Mario,
every Mario,
and
it'll be a $100 game, and that's the next controversy. It's gonna be, Nintendo. I could see them doing, and like this feels very like it feels like it could apply to the Mario Kart World thing. And I've always felt like this with Nintendo, but not in like they haven't been doing everything that they could to fit into this niche. They want to be Apple so bad. I could see them doing the like Mac Pro wheels thing, where a lot of times they just price stuff high just to get people to talk about them. They don't care whether or not you buy the Mac Pro wheels, but they care that everybody is like, it's ridiculous that the Mac Pro wheels cost this much money, because then you're talking about the Mac Pro, and then you're like, well, I'm not going to buy the wheels, but I might still get the Mac. Like I could see them being like, here's this $100 Mario game, and then also there's a bundle, and you can still get it for 70 or whatever. But it's complain about the fact that it's 100, sure.
Yeah. So I just saw this in the chat. RP mentions the Super Mario Bros. Movie, but the video game, but also at the same time, this also might be where maybe we hear about Super Mario Bros. The movie too.
True. Or
I think that's a distinct possibility.
Or we hear about when we'll hear about it. I think is more likely.
Yeah.
I think that's like an earlier Nintendo Direct, like early era Nintendo Direct announcement, or like literally I'm working on a video about how to make the quote unquote perfect Nintendo Direct that'll come out within close proximity of this Nintendo
Yeah,
Direct.
yeah,
And like early Nintendo Directs, they're like, yeah, man, the Hulu app is here. And also
yeah, yeah.
TV, you know, like that whole thing. Now they're just like games, announcements, games. We might have a reveal for this other thing at a different time. Games. You know, like they kind of got it down to a science and what people usually want to see. So I don't think we'll see something like that. And if we do, it'll be very fast. It'll be like, yeah, the Mario movie's happening, and we're going to do a separate direct for that. Tune in. But
Yeah. I honestly think this Nintendo Direct, part of me just wants to say I don't think we should expect too much from it. I know we're getting close to holidays, but like maybe a couple like release dates, maybe a couple 2026 options.
I'm just always weird on talking about expectations because me personally, just across the board, I don't usually have these like super specific like expectations that I feel a lot of gamers do, where it's like, oh, well, it didn't show this game, or I'm not super amped about at least 7 games in this reveal, so bad. I mean, in this direct, so bad direct.
No,
for me, it's like I just want a general like the general consensus to be there's decent games that they showed. The majority of them have dates. The majority of those dates are within the next 6 months. That's my expectation. Beyond that, I don't really care. You know, like I have faith 9 times out of 10 they're going to at least show me like 4 games that I think are pretty cool and want to buy. And them convincing me to spend freaking $200 within the span of an hour, it's crazy to be like that was a bad ad, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no.
So that's generally how I feel about it. I think that we will at least get that. I don't know if it's going to be like the Dream Direct that everybody is like, it's an hour long, it's in September, banger direct, you know, like
No, yeah. That's where I'm sitting right now. Right. Is I think this what the strategy is, and I feel like a lot of people kind of forget this, is they throw a wide net. To have a little bit of something for everyone until they reveal the thing at the end that you all go like, oh my God, it's Kirby Air Ride. And now everyone's hyped about it. But like they show 3 JRPGs, 7 cozy games, and then just like
we're getting
10 remakes.
Mad weeaboo things. There's going to be the anime section. Oh, the other thing that is an interesting wrinkle for Nintendo Directs in the Switch 2 era is third-party games. Third-party games are more exciting now. Like, third-party games on Switch, they were more exciting than Wii U because they happen more frequently. But now they're more frequent, and it's even less of a gap between like the other consoles and what happens here. The only gap that I'm seeing now in terms of like Switch 2 ports, and I think that will lessen as time moves forward and more developers have dev kits and have time with said dev kits. Crossplay is really the only real barrier where it's like most of these ports are good ports, and they're like, especially in the context now that we have everybody copying Nintendo Switch. So you had this direct analog that people like were impressed with and positive about with the Steam Deck before Switch 2 came out. And now you have Switch 2, which is able to now look impressive because they're like, the port is better than the Steam Deck version. The conversation is no longer, it's not even as good as the console that I have. The conversation is usually, is it better than Steam Deck? And if it is, then people are like happy with that.
Yeah. God, I had a question for you. Do you think any shot in the dark we start seeing some DLC for Mario Kart? Yeah. I think it's a little too early, but I almost feel like now's kind of a decent time for them to tease a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how soon it'll happen. I think that if it happens now, it'll be free, would be my assumption. Or it would be something like a booster pack where it's like relatively cheap for the amount of content that you get. And it's like something that they can like roll out.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them roll out like, by the way, here's the first batch of new costumes for Mario Kart World.
Right.
Something really small, not like
just to remind people that the game exists.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're adding new tracks to Mario Kart World becomes distinctly more difficult to do because everything's connected.
Yeah, it's like, how do you do that? I feel like if they add new tracks, they gotta add new worlds at that point. You know?
Yeah, you have to add new islands, or it has to be just like its own separate like thing off to the side where it's like, hey, here's where all the extra tracks are.
Right.
But there's part of me that wishes for it, but knows that it's just too. It's not.
I think it's too soon.
Not enough time has passed. It's way too soon.
I could see something like that happening. I don't think it would happen. I could see DLC. I could see some kind of content update, blah, blah, blah. I could see that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be anything major yet.
No.
Maybe we get something small and they tease something major in the future. But I don't know if they would be like, yo, here's new Mario Kart DLC. Off rip. Yeah, I also think that would get people angry.
Yeah, well, and it's also strange because like you have Mario Kart World, then you have Kirby Air Ride that's happening this year too. So that's 2 kart racers from Nintendo, and then you have the Sonic Cross Worlds, which
they don't care about that.
The demos. No, they don't. They don't. But it is also just like there's so many kart racers that, for whatever reason, dropped this year, at least more than normal. And it's a question of, do they feel like they need to do like a small little like, hey guys, Mario Karts, we're still doing stuff.
I think the way that they think of Mario Kart and the way they think of Kirby Air Riders is different. Because I think the way that the consumer thinks about those two games is different. Like most people that play Kirby Air Ride do not think about Kirby Air Ride as a kart racer in the sense that it's like, I can't wait to race. Nobody wants to race in Kirby Air Ride. Everybody wants to play City Trial. That's what they want to do. So it's like the inverse of Mario Kart, where it's like, yeah, Mario Kart has a battle mode, but how often do you actually play that?
0.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I think that it's pretty easy for them to be like, here's new courses that you can race on in Mario Kart, and then also do other things in Kirby.
Yeah. It's just it's wild to me that those two, and yeah, I understand it's because they look at them differently, but it is still kind of wild to have 2 like racing games happening at the same time.
I mean, they've done it for a long time. You know, the F-Zero, I'm pretty sure F-Zero and Mario Kart, the original Mario Kart, came out in the same year, did they not? They're within.
The originals. I mean, maybe sure, because like, you know, you don't know how well Mario Kart's gonna do. Yeah. It was the first time they did it.
Same thing with F-Zero. It was the first for
trying
both.
To see which one. First for both to see which one would stick. And
but they do. But they also do it with platformers. There's Kirby and Donkey Kong and Mario. You know, I think they like doubling up on genres, especially the ones that they think are more popular. Like there's things
but like platformers have been their bread and butter for a long time, like across everything.
So racing games. Mario Kart has literally been the top selling game on their consoles for their past like 4 generations.
Sure, but how many racing games did they release? So they had, for the Switch 1, they had Mario Kart, they did F-Zero 99. Was there another racing game for the Switch that I'm missing?
Well, there's the other Mario Kart. There's the Mario Kart, what is it, Live Circuit or whatever. I'm just saying, I don't think they care. I don't think they care about the.
They clearly don't.
The multi-genre thing, because to allude back to a point that I said earlier, like they will literally release 2 games that us as consumer or like gaming enthusiasts would think like that's direct competition. Nintendo fans like everything. Why would you release a Zelda game and a Mario game on the same day? That's insane. And they're just like, LOL, those games both sold 15 million copies or whatever, you know, like they do stuff like that frequently. And it has to work because they do it all the time.
Fair. Fine.
I just think the people that like the Venn diagram, the part of the Venn diagram in the middle is smaller than we think, or they have more money to spend than we think because they do it a lot. You know, it's like, I've been, and anecdotally, I've been the person in the middle that's like, both of them came out and I'm buying both But there's also people that are like, I like one, I don't like the other. There's people that are like, I like one more than I like the other. I'll get the other one eventually, but I'm buying this one now, and I'm gonna buy the other one when I feel like it.
Mhm.
It's not like these games disappear. So like when they come out doesn't really matter that much, especially in these early days where it's less about like how many like where the games that people are buying are like there's less competition because there's not that many Switch
Yeah.
2s. You know what I mean? So it's just like a lot of people just want to play the thing that's new on their new toy. So you just give them stuff that they want to play that's new on their new toy, and then you figure everything else out later when 20 million more people buy the thing,
Yeah. Um, did Mario Odyssey, because both Zeldas had a free upgrade pack. I know
Mario
Mario
Odyssey
got
had
a boost.
it had a few different things. It had like the
It's like,
Luigi balloon race thing, and then it had the Labo VR update, but it didn't have anything
right.
like that. It didn't have like a
Well,
DLC.
when it went to Switch 2, it got like
Oh
what
yeah,
better
yeah,
frame rate
yeah,
and
yes,
a little bit more, but nothing to the extent that like Tears and Breath of the
yeah.
Wild
Nah,
got,
I
where you
didn't
had
get
like
nothing
no.
crazy. Because it was a free update. It was like and I wouldn't even really compare it to that, but it was in the
No.
same bucket as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, where it was
Where it's
just
just
like
like this runs better now.
exactly. But with
Thumbs up.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it was like this developer is bad. They needed more strength to brute force
Mm,
what they're bad at. But
yeah.
Mario is just like, all right, we don't want our game to look blurry on your screen, so like here's an update so it doesn't look blurry on your screen.
Bring on your screen. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I like. I think for me, the big thing that I'm looking forward to is a Mario announcement, and I think it would be crazy for them not to do something for the 40th,
They
even
gotta.
if it's just like you have to do like 40 is too big of a number. Like 45, whatever.
Mhm.
35, okay, but like
And they even
40
did stuff
is
for
it's a
35.
decade.
35 was
Yeah.
the All-Star. I mean, 3D.
Yeah.
So they usually do something for Mario. 30 was Mario Maker, like so. I think that we're going to get something.
Yo, Mario Maker 3?
Bob will freaking break through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man.
He will implode.
Um,
I can say actually with mouse controls,
yeah, Mouse Maker.
Mario
But
Maker might be a lot nice. Would be pretty
just
nice.
update 2. I don't think like just update 2. I don't know why
Yeah,
you
I
make
mean,
a Mario Maker 3. Granted, I don't really know why you make a Mario Maker 3 other than the fact that you can't play the Wii U game on the Switch or whatever.
Sure.
But like now even more, it's just like make a Switch 2 edition at that point. Like unless it's 3D, if it's like a huge thing, like they do something big that the other one didn't do, I don't know how you justify the 3.
I mean, it could be as simple as they announce a Mario Maker 2 upgrade pack like they do with
Right. That's what I'm saying. Do
yeah.
that. Like
they add Wonder as a new palette and
Mhm.
mouse controls.
Right. That's
And then you're back to the races. Yeah.
Give me the like Kirby Starcrossed whatever it's called that
Yeah,
update
exactly.
pack. Give me
treatment.
that. Charge me $20, even 30. You can charge me $30. Give me Mario Maker 2.5 and cool. But I just don't know what they could even do for a Mario Maker 3 to make me want to play.
There's
3.
not much.
Like the only way I could see them doing 3 and it being like a banger is if they add 3D, and I think that would be a nightmare for various reasons.
Oh, that it'd be so tough. But
Yeah.
I think it's easy money and not too taxing to just do an upgrade pack.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Do we think that there's going to? I think that we're going to get. We talked about some of them. The third party, like this game before couldn't run and now it can. That's cool. What do we think is a new one that wasn't previously announced? I'm still pulling for Marvel Rivals. Need it.
Yeah, I think Marvel Rivals is an easy ad, and I think it's definitely the way to go about doing it, if you ask me.
There was like
as far as,
rumors
like,
that it's coming out on PlayStation 4, and they showed like PlayStation 4 Pro and regular PlayStation 4 specs. where it's like it runs at 1080 30 on PlayStation 4 and 1080 60 or 1440p 60, I think it is, on PS4 Pro.
Yeah, I mean, you set it down, the settings down enough, and it should be able to run on that. I don't see why it can't.
I think it could definitely run on Switch 2 for sure.
I could definitely run on Switch 2, and I think it'll probably look better than, or at least equivalent to what it does on.
I think it'll be similar to a lot
Steam
of the
Deck.
Yeah, I think it will look better than the Steam Deck is the thing.
I think it'll look better.
I think it'll be close to the Series S. That's been the trend so far. Is most of the third-party games that they actually tried to make the video game work, they look as good or in some cases better than with the Series S looks like. And I think that's probably what's going to happen.
I wonder if they because originally Switch 2 or the original Switch, they did the cloud version of Doom. I wonder if they just bring the recent Dooms just straight into
because they did the 2016 Doom, and that was just a regular.
The 2016 Doom was
just regular game.
Dumped it way down.
Yeah,
right.
And was Eternal? Did they do a cloud version of Eternal, or was that? I thought that was just a regular game. Was it?
I think maybe I'm misremembering.
I don't remember it.
No, that was straight the game. That was straight a game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that's not. Well, then I could see them putting Dark Ages.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the things that people are talking about, where it's like, oh, PCs are struggling with this, is because it's like the ray tracing or whatever, like it's mandatory ray tracing. And Switch 2 has ray tracing, it built in. So
yeah, I can see them. I can see them bring Dark Ages over. I think that's a fairly decent one to bring over. I mean, I don't know how sales did for Dark Ages, and I mean, between the three most recent ones, it's just not as good as like Eternal,
right?
But it was fine. But like I'm trying to think of other like any other specific games. I'm like, man, I really hope this gets ported over.
I think we'll just see more of them, to be honest. I think that I think we'll get to a point where Switch 2 is like, I can't even really think of an analogous platform, because I don't think it's going to be ever present. I don't think we're going to get every game, but I think I think it's going to be similar to PC. I think how like more often than not you expect to see the big major like console games come to PC, but sometimes they don't until later or at all. I think that's what Switch 2 is going to be. It's going to be we get most things. Some things are going to be later, and some things we won't get at all. But I think that most things will come, especially if it's from a non-Western developer. I think if it's from Japan, it's like, it will be shocking if we don't get it.
Has any of the PlayStation properties made their way onto Switch yet?
The Horizon Lego game is on Switch.
Horizon Lego's the only one, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's like another one that's like owned by Sony technically or something like that. I forgot what it is.
Helldivers 2 for Switch 2. Let's go.
I can see it. It works on Steam Deck, so why not?
They just put it on Xbox.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
I'd be down. Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank, God of War, bring them all.
Yeah, why not?
It'd be wild to see Astrobot go to the Switch 2.
That would be crazy.
I think it would do really well on the platform.
I think it would sell more on the Switch than it would on the
absolutely.
PlayStation.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, you had to have a PS5. It was expensive at the time to get a PS5, still is.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people that are buying PlayStation 5s are not buying PlayStation 5s to play a game like that. It's like people are buying PlayStation 5s with Call of Duty and Madden and 2K, and some of them are like, I want the PlayStation exclusives, but most people are buying like the, tippy top of the sales charts every month games. So I don't know, maybe.
I think Astrobot's a great property to bring over to Switch.
I think that would be a huge W, and it would be like the headline for sure. Even if there are better games that they reveal or more exciting games, it will be the headline, because it's like the Nintendo ripoff game from PlayStation is now on Nintendo.
Oh my god! That they add some of the bots are now Nintendo characters for Switch 2
they give him a
exclusive.
Mario
Like, come on.
hat. Like,
Yeah.
it writes itself. It's easy. So
Nintendo, we're helping you print money here.
we're really
And Sony, we're doing you both a favor.
PlayStation. I think we're doing a bigger favor for PlayStation.
Yeah, definitely for PlayStation.
But that's all my thoughts for the direct. You got any other direct thoughts before we get into specific video games that we're already playing?
My only thing is, I really my absolute shot in the dark Hail Mary. I will lose my mind if this is announced, but a new Zelda, would love to hear from it. Won't be this one.
I hope we don't.
But if it does,
because
if it does,
I hope we don't. Because I don't want it to be Tears of the Kingdom again. I don't want to be talking about the sequel to the Legend of Zelda, the sequel to the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for another 7 years.
Breath of the Wild 3?
No, I want it, but I don't want to be talking about it for the next 7 years. I want it to appear and the game's coming out in 9 months. That's what I want. I don't want we're working on the next one, guys. See you in a decade. I don't need that. I don't need that.
Nah, we're going to get one logo reveal, and it's going to be aggravating.
I hope not. I hate it. I hate it so much. I would hope that they learn from Metroid Prime. Because
I would hope so, too.
They've done it a lot less since Metroid Prime. To Nintendo specifically credit. Everybody else has not done less of it. Everybody else
I think a lot have really... after that and what Bayonetta 4 was the other one that...
Yeah, and I think they got announced around this. Well, it was Bayonetta 3. It was Bayonetta 3.
Bayonetta 3, yeah.
They got announced
the two of them,
and
and then took forever to come out.
Yep. It's just stop doing that.
Guys, we have to stop.
There's no good that comes of it. None. Absolutely none.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes games are able to succeed in spite of it, but it is very clearly in spite. It never does you better to make people wait a really long time for a video game. Sometimes you succeed in spite of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Hollow Knight, that's a video game that took really long to come out. Hollow Knight Silksong.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I want to preface this. You're a Metroidvania guy. I hate Metroidvanias. But
don't understand.
But I'll explain. Because I like platformers. I like that general thing. I just don't like the set dressing around the platformer because I think it makes them tedious in annoying ways. And I think that there's ways to avoid that in Silksong, which we'll get into specifics on that. I think it does some of it, but it digs its heels in other ways that I think is infuriating, and I hate it. Like an easy example is how it handles maps. I think that's stupid. There was I've been tweeting my thoughts on the game because I don't plan on making a video. And my first thought when playing the game was it's dumb that they make you buy a map, B, make you unlock the ability to see yourself on the map, C, make you have to equip and choose whether or not you can equip being able to see yourself on the map. And I think that I know that their attempt is we really want you to immerse yourself and learn the map without having to look at it. So we make it harder for you to get the map so you don't rely on it as much. But for me, the opposite ends up happening. As somebody with poor vision, I don't know what's going on most of the time and being able to differentiate one screen from the next screen unless I have the map to cross-reference and be like, oh, okay, this part looks like this. So I know I need to go here because it's shaped like this on the map. Everything else is just vaguely dark and gray. So I can't be like, oh, well, this is this part of the map unless there's very specific landmarks, which happens sometimes, but it's not most of the map. Most of the map is samey. So it's way easier to be well, I need to go here and I can make this turn here or jump up here at this part if I can physically see it on the map. But because they make it impossible for me to do that, that's frustrating. And that's one example. There's a lot of things like that where they dig their heels in where it's our vision of the game is like this, but they're not fully thinking of how to realize that vision for people that don't have their sensibilities to put it in a limited way, because this isn't a sense.
Yeah, I mean, even with the original Hollow Knight, Hollow Knight was a Metroidvania for veterans of the genre.
Yes.
It is not a user friendly or like a, hey, here's your first Metroidvania. It is very difficult. The checkpoints are far away. It punishes. I hate saying that has Souls-like tendency.
It does.
When really,
well, I don't know about the
Souls-like
first one, but this game absolutely is a Souls-like. It just is. It just
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it's just it's a game that, like, if you when you make a mistake, you are punished for your mistake, and that is the mechanic of Souls games. It's like, if you make a mistake, you're punished. So the map thing's always bothered me. I kind of wish there's, I don't want to say like an accessibility thing, to be able to just be like, can I just have
but
the
it just
compass
is.
so I just
It
know
is an
where I
accessibility
am?
thing. It is. That's the like weird try hard. I am very good at video games. I am very good at video games. I have no reservation in saying that. This game to me is not hard. I don't think Hollow Knight Silk Song is a hard game at all. I just think it's frustrating in different ways. And like you said about the like punishing thing, I think that that's a good thing to want to do. I think it's a good thing to want to punish the player and like make them want to get better and like have this like, oh, you got me last time, but I'll get you next time because I learned from the thing and you hit me this way. And it's obvious that they want you to do that because the ways that you die are like very like well designed. It's not, I've never died in this game, but like I felt cheated by the game. It's never been like that. The thing that's annoying is the game doesn't know how to punish you in ways that flows well. Because the thing that would flow well, to harken back to Mario, would be if those run backs were in concert with the boss. If it was like things that you are doing in this platforming challenge makes you better at what the boss is testing of you, I think that the runbacks would feel a lot less tedious. Because it's not like, here's this completely unrelated here's the rosebud thing that people were freaking out about on the first day, or it's like, this is too hard. It's not. But like, that is, if you find that frustrating and you get through that thing and then you get to the boss and it's this completely different challenge that has nothing to do with the muscle memory that you're forced to build up for the rose thing, is just like, there's this disconnect. But if the platforming challenge was, or even if the boss was a rosebud where it's like you got to bounce off of something similar to those rosebuds to hit the boss, I think that would feel a lot less tedious.
That's a very, very fair. Uh-oh.
What's happening?
That's a fur ball. Zuko, no. God damn it. I was gonna say that's a very fair critique on it. I will say though, is I think one thing that it really, that Hollow Knight does well with its boss fights.
I think the boss fights are the best part of the game.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that they do really well is they give you a moment to understand how mechanically this fight is going to go.
Right.
And if you're like me, whenever I'm streaming, I try to immediately brute force my way through because I'm just like, nah, man, I got to keep going.
Yeah.
I get you get punished really badly. But if you stop, observe how they do things, and then attack, and then find your openings, that's how you win Hollow Knight.
Yes.
And now, admittedly, I have not gotten very far into Silk Song because I've been trying to wait to stream it, and then I've been stupid busy for the last 6 days, so I haven't had a chance to get like much further than say like the tutorial, or like.
So did you get to the part that I was talking about, the rosebud thing where you're?
No, I didn't get to the roses. We're talking super, super early, but I had been playing through the old Hollow Knight, and with a bit more of a critical eye than the first time I played, just because, I have so many friends that enjoy Metroidvanias that just like my buddy Rye Toast. He's just like, Hollow Knight is like one of my favorite games. He's beaten the game on Steel Soul, which is you can't die a single
It's the
once,
Nuzlocke
which
mode.
is yeah,
They
it's
got the cheat
crazy.
code
And
for
I'm just
that
like,
in this game.
yeah. And I'm just like, I was trying to understand it a little bit more, and it's really is about how the bosses are designed.
Mm-hmm.
There are, at least with the first one, I think some of the map and routes for you to get around are not great. Like you were kind of saying with like the map and stuff, is that it just, the rooms are sometimes shaped weird. They like, you have to take a very specific path towards the beginning of it to get to where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
I think the crossroads looks way too similar. Like I can sort of get my way around without the map. And that's always been the tricky part for me, is that I feel like how they build the rooms is so focused on the challenge of the room that sometimes navigation and mobility don't help until like super late game. So if you're trying to 100% it, getting around to each place that you need to get every little piece or like every power up and everything is sometimes it's just very, very time consuming.
Yeah.
Where I think about Metroid Dread and how smooth that entire thing is, where if you needed to get, when you started going around for your 100% completion, there were such smooth ways once you unlocked all the paths to get to where you need to go. Hollow Knight never really gets to that. It is about exploring and it's about immersion. And sometimes that can be a bit of a detriment. But
so I fell
like
off. I fell off of the original Hollow Knight, and it was for a different reason. Like I didn't even get far enough to have the critiques of this game that I have for that game that I do in this, because and I was talking about this a little bit on Twitter, but it's because it, like freaking, I don't even know his name, the bug in the first game, that brother, because I know he's not the Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Spoilers, I guess. I did not like his base moveset. I thought he felt terrible to control. But Hornet, I like her base moveset and it feels good. The way I compared it yesterday on stream is I think that this game feels like Mega Man X, where the original Hollow Knight felt like Mega Man. And I don't like the original Mega Man, but I like Mega Man X. And that's where I'm at.
Really? You didn't like the moveset?
No, it feels clunky and stupid and dumb, and I hate it.
Really? I
feel way more
I've always felt
nimble.
Very smooth and very nimble in the original game. Don't get me wrong, I think it takes a while and it requires the right charms to make it work.
Yeah, but I didn't get that far because I hated the game from before it had any charms.
That's fair. I mean, the thing is like you're supposed to feel a little like slow and maybe not as nimble until you like in later game when you unlock stuff.
You feel slower. Like I feel better now in Silksong now that I have I have a Reaper. I don't even know what it's called. It's a Reaper thing or something, and it changed my moveset, and I don't got the dive thing anymore. I have like this, like it looks like a spike in Smash Brothers. It looks like somebody's down there or something. It looks like Joker's down there. That's my down slash instead of the like dive kick looking thing.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to get that. For what I was playing, because the original has those sort of pogo, like that down slice, and that's what I was used to. And I was coming straight from replaying Hollow Knight to Silksong, and as soon as I picked up the controls and hit down attack and did the dive, I was like,
yeah,
okay, this is gonna take. And that's
why
I think
I don't mind the dive. I don't have the one because like that was another thing. There's like the one that makes your moveset like the original, basically.
Yeah.
As I understand it. That's not the one that I have. It's a different one.
Oh, it's a different one, huh?
Yeah, it's different.
Okay.
And it gives you like this, like, if you look on my Twitter, I like show what it looks like in that thread. But yeah, I just like it. I like how that feels to play and use. And like, even before I had all that stuff, like before I had the dash, and when I was talking about this on Twitter, it was, I was saying that Metroid Dread for me was a similar situation where it's like it didn't keep me because I didn't feel good controlling Samus. It didn't feel like something that I was like having fun with. And I understand that it's probably I didn't unlock the right abilities to make the movement feel as smooth or whatever. Um, hold on.
Yeah, I mean that's always been my favorite part about Metroidvanias is. Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. I was just replying to Colton.
Oh, okay. For me, my favorite part about Metroidvanias is always that first initial, like when you start any Metroidvania, you don't quite like it is a little clunky. You start to get the basics, but like the best upgrades are always the mobility upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
And the dopamine hit I get when it's like, I just unlocked a second jump. I just unlocked a way to dash in the air. Like and then suddenly moving through the world is quicker and faster. And like,
I think that's another sensibility thing. I think that's another sensibility thing. Yeah. Because I don't feel good when you punish me. If you give me more, you know, if it's like, okay, this feels even better now, cool. But if the start of the game is supposed to be, you're supposed to feel crappy and like you can barely move, so that when you can eventually move, it's lit. It's like, no, let me move and then let me move better, you know? Like that's how I feel. At least I don't feel rewarded when you get like when you finally are like, the game's fun now, aren't you happy about that? It's like, no, I bought a game to have fun. I want to have fun from the beginning and then give me reasons to have more fun. You know, like that's how I feel about it, at least.
Yeah, I think it's such a weird thing to say. It's really kind of preference.
That's what I say. Yeah, it's a sensibility thing.
Yeah, sensibility. Because like I never felt, especially this second time that I'm playing through Hollow Knight, especially the second time playing through, because the first time I remember, like it was the first game that I really played all the way through where making mistakes punished you heavily. Mm-hmm. Because like I didn't jump into Dark Souls at that point, and Elden Ring wasn't out yet.
So to be clear, when I say I don't want to be punished, it's not. I don't mean that. I don't mean like for losing.
Yeah.
I think being punished for losing is fine. It needs to like teach you something, I think.
Right. But like this second time going through, where I had like a bit more of a understanding of how this game plays and everything. Like I felt like I was cruising through it pretty quickly and effectively. It is one of the things where I immediately gun for any mobility upgrade. It's like power-ups, sure, like a stronger nail, fine. But I'm like, double jump, what's up?
Yeah.
Like I really can't explain why I am okay being very limited in my mobility and working with a limited tool set to then eventually find ways to have, like, you know, by the end of Metroid, you have infinite jump and you can get through everything very, very quick. There's just something about making these unlocks to help me navigate through the world faster to find the things I missed that really like does it for me. And God, there was a very specific game, and I'm blanking on it right now, which sucks, where it was just like, like you started out rather strong and you could get around, like the mobility of it was good, like pretty much from the beginning, but later on you
lose it.
Things that would just trivializes, you know, like all the older challenges, because it's like, you're done with those. You don't need to do those anymore. Don't worry about that stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of the thing that I want, you know, and I think that Hollow Knight Silksong does a better job at it. I think that I haven't really gotten it. Like, there's the dash. The dash is like the one mobility thing that I've seen so far that's like, okay, this like makes the game feel better to play, and that's like the base reason why, like, or the easiest reason to be able to appreciate it. But there's other stuff, like I got like the float thing. I don't need that, but it's a nice little bonus. You know, it feels good to have it. But that is where I get the like dopamine hit of like, ooh, it feels better to play this game. It's not like, this is like an extreme example, but it's not like them being like, all right, you start the game and you're crawling, and then you go a little bit further and you learn how to walk, and then you learn how to run, and then you learn how, you know, it's like, just let me walk, run, and jump from the beginning. you know, and give me the ability to fly, and then give me the ability, you know, like give me abilities to do things that I don't expect to be able to do, not punish me for expecting the base abilities of a platformer to exist, you know, or to feel good to engage with.
Sure. And well, and it does come down to as well as like fundamentally how Metroidvanias are developed is, you know, it's the idea of lock and key
Yes.
with basically
Right.
everything. And I think it's something you have to be used to and enjoy, I guess, like myself.
But I think
where mobility is one of those keys.
But I think that there's ways to do that that don't like that are like not hidden to the player. When it's obvious to me that you're presenting me with a lock to find the key, instead of it being a thing where it's like something I'm able to find out in the moment, where it's like, now I have this float. It wasn't obvious before I had the float that I couldn't get to this very specific place because I didn't have the float, so I couldn't see it. But now that I have the float, I'm like, oh, it's over there, and that thing is there, and I get this thing. Instead of it being like, all right, here's this wall, and you need to have this kind of blade to cut down the wall. That's very yellow painty, you know, but in the opposite direction. It's like it's yellow paint, but it's punishing you, not telling you where you need to go. It's telling you where you can't go, which I think is like, it's weird that people embrace that, but not the inverse of it, where it's like, you're ruining my immersion by telling me that the video game is a video game. But when when you're approached with the lock and key design of the game, that also tells you very directly the video game is a video game. People are like, yeah, it's like thing Japan. It's like that kind of meme.
Man, I don't, dude, that's so weird. It's like our perspective on it's so different, because when I get into those and I see like, oh, that purple door, I don't have thing to shoot purple door. Oh, there's probably something super cool behind that, and I mark it and I get excited. See, the thing, I get excited for the potential that I get to come back and find out what's behind that door. I understand that it does break the immersion to a degree, but those are the things that I love.
Because I think you can have,
I can't go yet.
Yeah, I think you can have
see the potential.
I think you can have that, but it's kind of like the early days of like the open world marketing of like, you see it and you can go there, you know. But the way that they delineated between like, you can go there eventually once you have this thing, wasn't like, this wall is crumbly and the other wall is icy, you know. It's like very obvious game design. I'm telling you, you can't go here, but kind of like you see it yourself through the ability that you got, where it's like, oh, the enemy over there was kind of like that thing, and it felt like I could fight that, but now I can really fight it, or whatever, like that kind of example where it's like seamless. I don't want to see the seams. I just don't. It makes me mad when you show me the seams.
Man, I don't know. For me, I don't see it's that big of a deal. And I do think Hollow Knight, and again, with my limited experience with Silksong, I think it does a much better job at doing what you're saying about like this sort of seamless, like there's a giant pit, and you're looking at it and you're like, there's definitely something across that.
Right.
And I am missing whatever thing I need to get over there.
But there's not like a freaking huge neon sign that says, unlock new thing to get across this pit.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I mean, it's no Metroid where you come to door and door is green, so you need the super missile. And you just go like, I gotta get the super. But I don't know, man. I love it.
Like I rather them hint at where it's like, okay, like eventually you'll be able to get here and you need a new thing to get here, than to let me get there just to tell me that I can't get it. It feels very much like, I don't know if you've heard this critique about traditional Zelda games, but I hate the thing where it's like, talk to Guy so that he can tell you to go to a place where you know you need to go, but you can't actually go there until the game knows that you talk to Guy. Like, that's how it feels. It feels like the video game is like, you didn't talk to the guy, you can't go here.
Yeah, early, yeah. But I mean, and this is, again, going back to Metroid Dread. This is why I like Metroid Dread, is that those moments where you get to the, like, I felt those moments were cut down significantly. If you continued the sort of track that the game sort of like, I don't think it's to me, it didn't feel too handheldy. I can see why other like hardcore Metroidvania players might be like, well, I think Metroid Dread holds your hand too much. I think it just streamlines it where it's like it shows you the clear path. You can get off that path, but it's going like that's when you're going to run into the roadblocks. Where it's just kind of like, yeah, you're going to need an ice beam for this stuff. Like, come back later, you'll get new stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's when a game's able to do that, where it seamlessly like shows you the route you need. Like there's this very obvious route. You should be taking this route, whether it's hopefully it's not just straight up yellow paint, because that is when it becomes a problem. But if it's like enough of like, yeah, maybe a character leaving behind, maybe there's a trail of
I think
enemies
that's what
destroyed.
makes me the most mad about Metroidvanias, because I think it's a genre full of yellow paint, and people love the yellow paint.
It's not as yellow. I mean, it is not as yellow paint as you think it is. I think if you're just trying to beat the game, yes, there's a lot more yellow paint. Fine. I think Metroid specifically, I do think it's one of the, it's kind of, it's what the whole genre is made out of.
Right.
And it's what, when Nintendo does stuff, they tend to make it as user friendly as it can be.
See, I disagree with that, because I was literally going to use Breath of the Wild as a good example of how to do the Metroidvania thing. Where and Tears of the Kingdom is a more direct example, because I feel like they yellow paint you more, but not as directly as these games feel like they do.
Hollow Knight will put you there. There's a very distinct path where it will show you, hey, you need to go this way. And then it's as soon as you get the first dash ability, when suddenly they go, okay, you understand the basics of this game, figure it out. And like at that point in time, the most they'll do is go like, hey, the things you need to go on or like go break to have access to the boss are in this biome, this biome, this biome.
Right.
You have to figure out the rest, and then you can tackle it in so many different orders. Like I'm taking a completely different route in Hollow Knight than I did the first time I played. I got a certain equipment that I got kind of towards mid game. I got it in early game the second time I played. It's just very much like, okay, go. Right. You can figure it out.
Yeah. Which that I do like. I think a lot of the times in Metroidvanias, though, and the problem that I have with them broadly, and I'm not like specifying anyone that does or doesn't do this thing, but my problem is usually that what they describe as exploration is trial and error to figure out where they actually want me to go. Like, there's exploration and ways to like encourage me to want to go different places, and I feel rewarded in some of the places that I go. But most of the Metroidvanias that I've played in that make me not like the genre make me feel like I'm bumping my head up against the wall with the quote unquote exploration. It's like, okay, well, I went here and this is a place that's off the beaten path, but what did I get for it? Lost time and a dead end. So now I got to turn around and find where they actually want me to go. And that's not fun. That doesn't make me want to explore. That just makes me frustrated and not want to play the game because I'm tired of checking empty rooms. So like,
see, that to me, like, I think early Metroidvanias are very guilty of that exact thing. I think as much as I love Super Metroid, I have ran into more dead ends in that game and gone like, crap, all right, wait, where the fuck do I go again? But like, I think like some of the newer ones, and I think the Prime series does a pretty good job. I think the first one has that same issue a bit more. But I do think like Prime 2 and Prime 3 felt a lot more streamlined where I never felt like I was just running into dead end until I reach the one that's not supposed to be the dead end.
And maybe that's the problem, because a lot of the ones that I've played are the ones that's like, I played the original Metroid and I'm like, this game kind of sucks. And then I played Super Metroid and I'm like, this game kind of sucks. And then I played the original Hollow Knight. I was like, this game. But when I just was like, all right, forget Hollow Knight. I'm not playing the first one. I'm playing Silk Song. I feel like I like it more. There's still some of the things that I don't like, which I think are tenets of the genre. But for the most part, I like the game. Like if I were to give it a number, which I hate giving a number, it would be like an 8 or more, you know, like it would be like, I like more things than I dislike, but there are things that I dislike. But I don't blame the game. I think everything that the game does well, it's because it is Silk Song. Everything that I think it doesn't do well is because it is a Metroidvania, you know, if that makes sense.
You might just not like Metroidvanias.
Yes.
Yeah, and you don't.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying, actually. And I think that like Silk Song and Hollow Knight, even Hollow Knight, like they're examples of games that people are like, they do this thing, and there's a decent amount of it happening this year in particular, where it's like, yo, you don't like Metroidvanias, but you'll like this one. You know, it's like, oh, you don't like this food. Well, you haven't had mine. You haven't tried how I cook it. You know, that's what this game is. So I think it's crazy. And I'm not saying you're doing this, but I think it's crazy for people to say both of those things. People like, oh yeah, like people that don't like Metroidvanias are going to love this game. And then when you don't like the game, it's like, well, you just don't like Metroidvanias. I was like, yes, but you told me I would. So like,
no, I like that. Yeah. I mean, there are always like, you can always make a recommendation. It's like, okay, I understand that you don't really like Metroidvanias. Try this one, and see if you're. It's all of us trying to communicate to each other why, you know, this is something I love. I'm trying to get the same feeling and emotions that I get from this game. I want you to experience it too,
right?
And ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to go like, hey, not everyone likes every type of thing.
Exactly.
And it's just.
So like with recommendations, and it's, you know, if you talk to Will about Pokemon games, right? Yeah. Will knows I love Pokemon, but he knows what I hate about Pokemon. I play it anyway because I love so many of the other things about it, and it's the only way that I can engage with the things that I do love. But Will is somebody that like he would come to me for a game that I think is a good Pokemon game. Because a game that I tell him is a good Pokemon game would likely line up better with what his sensibilities are. And that's how I think about recommendations. I would never recommend somebody something that I don't think they would like just because I like the thing. Unless I think they like the same things that I like about the thing, you know? Or I know that things that they do like exist in the thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
no, that makes sense.
And in this situation, if somebody recommended me Hollow Knight Silk Song, it would be a smart recommendation because I think it does a lot of things that I do like, and like very direct things that I do like. But it's not a perfect recommendation because it is a Metroidvania and it does do Metroidvania-y things. You know, there are things that like, and I contend that it doesn't need to do those things. I don't think that the economy needs to be the way that it is. But it is because it's like, well, that's what Metroidvanias do, and that's what the game that, you know, punished me in this way. So I think that that's a core tenet of the genre. And it's like, nah, it's not. But you know, whatever. But they're passionate, so we'll see. We'll see if they fix that part. I don't think they'll ever fix the map thing. I think that they're too stubborn on that.
I think the map thing is it's built for a very specific reason. It's supposed to be encouraging immersion and that sort of stuff. And if it's just not for you, it's just not for you.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't encourage immersion for me. It kind of does the opposite. It's like I ignore everything until I find the map. You know, it's like they're like they're like, oh, you're supposed to explore the map and learn the map on your own until you get one, and that's cool or whatever, right? But for me, I just beeline for until I find the map, and I like just brute force it. But I would learn the map better if you just gave me it from the get-go. Because again, as somebody that's visually impaired, it's easier to orient myself. If I can see the map and see how the world is supposed to be shaped relative to what I'm seeing, with all the smoke and mirrors and like the gradients and the vignettes and whatnot, you know?
Yeah, I think it was their answer because it is. I mean, the one thing with Metroidvanias, it's the one thing that I'm trying to think through, like how many I've played and if any of them got it right. There's not a lot that do. but like there's just a period of time where eventually you're checking the map all the damn time.
Mm-hmm.
And because one, you need to figure out where you are, where you're going, but also you're checking the map to quickly
See where you haven't
like
been.
to see, haven't been, and like what you need to go explore. And that's always been a tough thing. And I think they were just trying to get people to stop looking down at a map the entire time. And
yeah.
Which I
think is heavy-handed, because I don't look at the map like that. Like I use the map exclusively to orient myself. Where am I going? Am I lost? Have I been here before? Because if I've been here before and I am lost and I'm going in circles, I'm going to hate your game. I'm just going to. There's no way that you're going to make me like your game if I spend 90% of the time bumping my head up against the wall. It's just not going to happen.
Sure. I mean, yeah. So I just that is, if I were to guess what their design philosophy was, is that what it was? Is they wanted you to stop, enjoy the biome, understand the biome before.
Yeah, and I understand that.
Yeah,
I get the intent. Yeah. I just think they fell flat on the execution, because it doesn't encourage me to do that. It just makes me mad.
This is something I've been noticing a lot more, especially as I'm playing games. Because right now I'm playing through Final Fantasy 16. Mm-hmm. And I'm having a great time, but there's just a few things where I'm just like, man, I understand that you can do this to get like your some extra XP and all that sort of stuff, but I'm like, I'm kind of on a time crunch. I'm like, I got stuff to do. And there are certain things where I'm just like, sometimes I kind of just wish that there was a, hey, I got shit to do accessibility feature where it just kind of removes some of the tedious stuff or automatically does it for you. I was just playing it this morning going like, I wish it just had this so I could not waste my time.
Yeah.
And it's just something that
I agree with that. And I also think even removed from that, because so much of these things, so many of the, and we've talked about it throughout this conversation, so many of these design philosophies is like how they think your dopamine works, what they think you'll get excitement over, and what may excite you might profoundly frustrate me, you know? Yeah. So for them to not like I think doing something like making the map optional would achieve their goal a lot more than forcing one way or the other. I don't think that in the same way that, like, despite the fact that like Pokemon fans complain about it, I think experience candies and making it optional to be able to have your level up your Pokemon faster was a smart move. Because most people don't want to go through the tedium of running through the grass for 5 hours at a time to get your Pokemon on the level of the gym leader, you know? That's kind of what this is. It's like, well, some people might ruin the fun for themselves if you have the map the whole time, but other people are being walled off of fun at all if you take the map away from them, you know? And I think that it's a bad idea to opt to wall people off than to hope that people are funneled in the way that you want to. Like, don't make your funnel a wall is basically what
sure.
I'm getting at.
I remember what it was. It was just like Final Fantasy 16 hides like chests and extra items in like every nook and cranny. They built a way where you're just like, well, if I want to get everything, I have to explore everything. I have to go to every like little side room, and Clive just doesn't move that fast, and that's a problem. Yeah, it's so like I'm a dungeon that can maybe take me tops 30 minutes is taking me 2 hours because I'm like, well, I don't want to miss any accessories or something.
Right.
And those are sort of things where I'm like wishing there was like an accessibility feature. Call it the I'm too busy feature or something.
Also think stuff like that is lazy. They're profoundly lazy for them to be like, well, we want people to explore our world more. Make your world more interesting. Make me want to explore. Don't force me to have to explore. Make it something that I want to explore.
Well, yeah, and especially something where it's like this is just a side room.
Yeah.
Like this room's not interesting to be in, other than you guys put some props here.
Yeah.
Like there's no. It's this sort, like. Just to be clear, I'm enjoying Final Fantasy 16 a ton. I like it a lot.
I'm enjoying Hollow Knight so.
Yeah. But there are moments where it's just like, why did you make me run all the way over to get like a material that I have in excess just so I can kind of like be in a room with a couple barrels and maybe a dead body that I'm seeing plenty out there. I don't need this.
Yeah.
Like that. This is it plays off as like we're trying really hard not to tilt our hand that maybe our dungeon design's a little bit too corridory.
Mm-hmm.
It is one big critique I have of the game is that I remember Final Fantasy 13 had the same critiques where it's just like felt like corridor of the game, and they're trying to fight it, but like the way that they're fighting with it is like go down to this dead end and you'll get a chest. Guess what? It is some materials. Oh, you already have like a bunch of these? Well, now you have a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's whack. I hate that.
Yeah.
But I am having fun with Silksong though. Despite the problems that I do have.
Yeah, I think here's the thing is I really like Hollow Knight, especially playing it through in my second time. I'm really starting to understand the stuff that I missed on the first playthrough. I think the way they do the sort of vague storytelling too, where they give you like just enough information through dialogue and stuff for you to know what's going on, but it really does take a deep dive to understand the lore.
Deep dive in what way? Do I?
This is
something. To leave the game to understand the lore of the game.
Yeah, everything is in game.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. It's more of we learned this at Theory.
Okay.
When we did a Hollow Knight Theory, and we did not thoroughly go through the lore, and we were kind of torn apart. But the world's very dense with its lore, and you can get the basic idea of what's going on. But to understand if you want to understand the exact timeline of Hollow Knight, it's doable. But it does require you to take every piece of dialogue into account. You have to, every memorial or dream that you go into, you need to fully understand. There's a lot of moving pieces. Whereas Metroid is, there's Metroid. It's engineered weapon that's going to kill everything. Stop it.
Right.
And you get like bits and pieces of the Chozo lore. Hollow Knight's very much like, there's something happening that's really bad in Bugtown. Go fix it. And with Silksong thus far, it's been, hey, there's this pilgrimage and you were supposed to be going to the top of this mountain. But don't know why yet.
Yeah.
All I know is I need to go. And whatever fate I meet up there is, to be determined.
Right. I don't know what the heck's going on in this game, and I don't particularly care. I do know I watched a lore video on Hollow Knight. I know the lore of the first video game to an extent. It was like an hour and 15 minutes or some nonsense.
It's dense.
Yeah. And whatever. But like Silksong, I'm playing it. Stuff's happening. Hornet doesn't seem to understand what all is happening, and that's the extent of my understanding of what's happening. And I've talked to some bugs. They said some stuff. Cool. But like that's not really why I'm playing it. There's
the little bug that's sitting there playing the song for the gate.
Yeah, there's the bug that sings to tell me where it's at. And the bug's like, yo, buy a map. And I'm like, I hate you. I hope you die. But that bug did help me one time in a fight. So that was cool. Even though I don't know if it was that bug or if it was like another bug that looked like that bug. But I think it was that bug because that bug's name was the same, I think.
Yeah, there's a couple bugs in Hollow Knight that help you in the fight. And those are, to me, even though one of the fights was fairly easy, it was still really enjoyable to fight alongside someone that you've been like talking to throughout this whole
It
journey.
confused me the first time. The first time I saw that bug, I thought I had to fight the bug. I was like, "What? You betrayed me? I gave you rosaries or whatever." But they were
Sometimes the bugs aren't clear.
Yeah, hey, big problem with this game. Visual design, not all there because they're trying to be atmospheric and all that nonsense. Sometimes atmospheric makes things less clear. Turns out. But yeah, nah, the game's pretty good. There was this other thing that I in relation to this game, and I was talking about this on Twitter. I tweeted because they posted the Metacritic, and the Metacritic it's like a 99 or something like that, and that makes it the highest rated Metacritic of all time. And I was like, this game's good. There's no universe is better than Breath of the Wild. And part of my point there is to say Metacritic scores are stupid. And that's why I said I didn't want to give this game a number, because I think giving things numbers is stupid and it flattens everything. I think that there's ways to be like, this game's good. It's good for this. It's great, blah, blah, blah. And you don't got to put a number. The reason why people put numbers is because numbers are marketable. And the reason why they're marketable is because of this, because of the fact that people rank things and they say, this one's a 10 and my game had a higher number than your game, you know?
Well, numbers also make it easier to it's a quantifiable thing that everyone can basically understand as well.
Yeah, but so
I understand
like
that
titles.
It's a marketing tool, but I'll also say like numbers help me. I function in numbers.
I think
like
titles are the same.
Numbers.
It's like, it's no different if IGN said this game is a masterpiece than if they said it was a 10. But the difference that's negative is when they give it a 10, it contributes to it contributes to multiple, because it's open critic as well. It contributes to aggregates that then leads people to say, well, Hollow Knight is a better game than freaking NBA 2K26. You know, and it's like, what? What does that even mean?
I think we got too complacent with how we throw our numbers around, and I think we should have a great reset where things should get 5s more often and be okay.
But I think that even so, like, if NBA 2K is the best possible NBA 2K game it could possibly be, right? If that gets if the best rated game of all time was Madden 27, gamers would riot. But because Hollow Knight is this nerd darling, people are like, I feel good. And it's like an indie game. It's made by 3 people. It's $20. I feel great that that's the highest rated video. You know, it's like, but it is nowhere near the achievement of other games, not even just specifically Breath of the Wild or whatever, right? It's a good game. But to be like, it's the best game to ever happen, it's crazy to me. And the only reason why that conversation exists in the first place is because of the number.
I'm honestly, here's the thing. I was thinking about this before we started the podcast. Mm-hmm. I know that I have been so goddamn annoying with Expedition 33.
I know.
But
everybody is, to be fair. It's not just you. Everybody
it's not just me. Everybody. But I truly, like, I still need to play through Silksong. I'm very excited to play through Silksong. I still think Silksong has to do something far more incredible than it did with the original Hollow Knight to beat out what Expedition 33 has done. Because Expedition 33, from like top to bottom, I think its story and gameplay and aesthetics and everything is just cohesively just a phenomenal game that's hard to beat. And so I'm going to play through Silksong.
Right now, my game of the year is Bonanza. I haven't played Expedition 33. I can't see a world where it'll be my game of the year in any universe, but I want to play it.
It's just,
I want to play it.
If we're talking about like knowing each other and knowing what each of us are going to enjoy more as like, I think you will appreciate and like Expedition 33. Mm-hmm. It will still not beat Bonanza for you.
Yeah, that's
because
what I'm
I understand what Bonanza does for you.
Yes, exactly. I think that's what it is. And like, I think it's fair that people, and this is why I don't like the number that's all the same for everything, because I think it's valid for people to be like, Hollow Knight Silksong is my favorite game of the year. I think it's valid for people to say Expedition 33 is their favorite game of the year. I think it's valid for people to say whatever game it is. Or I think that when you start to talk about game of the years for outlets, the pickings are a little bit more slim, because then it needs to be wider appeal than that. And I don't think that Hollow Knight Silksong has a wide enough appeal to be able to confidently say, and I not Game of the Year. I think Game of the Year it's more narrow than this, but I don't think it has a wide enough appeal to be like, this is the best game ever. You know,
I think there is a distinct world where Silksong could. It's going to get the nom.
Yeah, it's going to get nominated for Game of the Year. Again, for Game of the Year, I'm less. That's less what I mean. What I'm more so taking my axe to grind is best game ever. I think.
Best game ever is that's really
because maybe I'm crazy, but I don't even think it's not my favorite game of all time. But I don't think it's crazy to think Breath of the Wild is the best game ever. I think that having that title with the Metacritic that it had before, all the achievement that it was, I think you hear that and you're like, okay, fair enough. If I heard that about Grand Theft Auto 5 or whatever, I'm like, okay, fair enough. You know, there's certain games that they're so ambitious and they achieve so much and they do so much and they're for so many, such a wide audience that it's hard to argue against them. But it being this thing that a specific niche, no matter what the specific niche is, but once it becomes a specific niche, a sports game, the NBA 2K, that's why I gave that example, where it's it could be the best one ever to ever happen. But there's a huge audience of people that will never play that game and has zero desire to. So it's insane to volunteer that as this is the best game, And I understand that is not what the game is doing. And that's why my critique is not the game. It's more so just the way that we talk about games and the way that we review games, and not us specifically. But I think numbers is dumb.
What was Breath of the Wild sitting at?
I think it was 96 or 97. It was the best reviewed when you factor in the amount of critics. Because Ocarina of Time, I think, has a higher score, but it had less critics.
Because I remember, if I remember correctly, when I saw on Twitter, I think Expedition 33 beat it out with a 98. But I don't know. I mean, this is my one thing, and to jump on board on your numbers is stupid thing. It's this thing of we've gotten to the point where we're at the top of the scale. And so in order for us to say a game's very, very good,
you got to give it a bigger number.
It has to be above 90. Yeah. And that's insane to consider all of gaming, and a majority of the games that we all know and all of them sit in 90s. A bunch of the Resident Evil sit in 90.
So to resolve this, actually, hold on, wait. Let me look. View all, because
I bet you it.
The Expedition
a little bit.
Yeah, Expedition 33 is a 93 on PlayStation 5, 91 on Xbox, and 91 on PC. The last time I looked at it, because they literally, and this is the problem that I have, is that they literally have a part of their website that's these are the best video games, and they rank them. It's no, it's right. There's this game is the best one, and then I think Tony Hawk is one of them. It's that kind of thing. It's just, I think that's crazy. Let me see if I can find the whole thing, but I didn't want to derail your point. Do you still remember what you were saying?
Oh yeah, I was just. I mean, at this point in time, we're always expected to keep going up and up and up, and then as soon as you hit 90, but we're still expected to go up and up and up, that you're hitting a ceiling,
right?
And it's just one of those situations where, I would say games within the last, I don't want to say decade, but 5 years. Maybe a decade. I think I could maybe confidently say 2015. Sure.
I think you could say a decade.
Yeah. I think at this point in time, all it is a signifier for is it's either the outlet was paid a lot of money to promote the game, so they can't give it a bad score, IGN. And
I'll say, anecdotally, Just as somebody that knows people at IGN, I don't think that is true.
I don't think it is. I think they had a problem with it in the
like the
2010s.
early days.
I think they're better about
like
it.
early days.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah, I think they ran into
separation
those
of church
problems
and
a lot.
state now.
Yeah, it's better now. But like within the last decade, it's like if the game is great and you want people, like you think everyone should play, it's a 9. And there's so many games that have gotten 9s and 8s to the point where that part is flooded so now it's like if it gets like 1 through 3, it's bad. Then there's like 4 through 7. If it gets longer than a 7,
if it gets lower than a 7, it's a bad game. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Also, update: the Hollow Knight Silk Song one did go down, so fair, but still, I think it's a bad metric. It's a bad metric. It's 92 right now.
It's a very tough it's hard because like reviewing a game. Because objectively, yes, game is entertainment, but also game is art, and quantifying art is impossible.
I agree.
I'm not going to go and look at a Picasso and say this is definitely a 9.5 out of 10.
And that was what I was saying, because like I had this long debate with somebody. I was talking in circles, and it was literally because I said like how I said it, and part of me, it's like I believe the thing that I said, but I said it for a reason. You know, I said it to make the point that I'm saying. Like the numbers are stupid, and here's an example of why numbers are stupid, and it should even more so prove the point of why numbers are stupid if you agree with the thing. I mean, if you disagree with the thing that I said. Me saying that Hollow Knight Silk Song is not as good of a game as Breath of the Wild, it should have a higher number, should immediately tell you, yeah, numbers are dumb. You know, like you don't have to agree with part A to understand the broad point of what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is I think that comparing them is stupid. I think that there are games that can be compared, and I think that there's metrics that you can like. The reason why I said what I said, for instance, and I explained it just now here, where it was like the reason it's not even a thing of like sensibilities in the same way, where it's like I hate high fantasy, but I think it's crazy to deny the achievement that Breath of the Wild is in spite of that. You know what I mean? And before Breath of the Wild, I didn't like Zelda games. Well, 3D Zelda games. I like some 2D Zelda games. And I like Wind Waker, but I gotta revise that. I gotta finish playing it again to see if I hate it.
Yeah.
But all of that is to say, there's just a lot of people that go to bat for whatever their favorite thing is because they like thing, and that's just not how my brain operates. Like the thing that I like, the thing I'm the loudest about not liking is games in a franchise that is my favorite franchise, bar none, and it's not even close. You know? It's like it's not a spade a spade. It's not hard for me to be like, I love Pokemon, but the games are terrible. That's not hard. So like,
yeah.
And it's also not hard to be like, I may not like this game personally, but I think, or as much as other people or whatever, but I think it's crazy to not acknowledge the technical marvel that is Grand Theft Auto 5. You know, and there's other games like that.
It's like all things, it's nuanced, and it is subjective to your world perspective. And like how like we probably won't ever really see eye to eye on Metroidvania, but probably not. But like we still acknowledge that like Silk Song's a great game.
Yes.
And I might love it. And you're not going to do everything in your power to ruin Metroidvanias for me.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't care if you like what you like. You could like what you like.
Yeah.
I might make fun of you for it, but you know I'm joking. I call you a nerd when you're playing whatever random video game you're playing, but you know I'm joking with you.
I get whenever I'm playing something and AJ catches wind, like if I'm playing Diablo 2 or something, I'll get like, yo, you on that nerd shit right now?
Exactly. But you know I'm joking. You know I don't actually, I wouldn't tell you to not buy a game you enjoy. I think that's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's just, that's just how we talk to each other.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's really what it is. It's like on both ends of it. That's why I think numbers are stupid. I think it's dumb because there's some games that you might like more than a number that people have, whether they're aware of it or not, agreed that a game deserved through Metacritics, or less than something that the aggregate decided. Because like, again, whether we want it to be used or not, it is used frequently in arguments of like, no, this is the best game ever, and look at the Metacritic. That's how you know it's good, because Metacritic, Smiley.
I think every game should have to go through a 5-year review. That 5 years after it's been done, the Metacritic is updated with.
I agree with that entirely.
I think that's a great idea.
I agree with that entirely. I think we should review at least the like top 30 games on Metacritic should be re-reviewed every 5 years, at least.
Yeah.
I will go as far as to say the top 500. Like, you should have to, like, especially like the major outlets that have the most sway, there should be a mandate where it's like, if you want to keep your weight on Metacritic, you have to update your top 100 games every 5 years. And it doesn't have to be on the date of the review every game or whatever. It needs to be this rolling basis of just know you got to update this number 5 years from now.
Yeah. I mean, that would, if we're looking at getting the most accurate fucking number that we can get on games, then that is the way to do it.
That's how you do it.
But no one's going to do it because you're going to get your 9.7 and walk away. You're done.
Get your clicks. And I hate that. I hate it so much. Because, like, people, I don't know. I just hate it. And it's more about, like, for posterity. That's what it is. Because it's like you have people being like, nah, man, Ocarina of Time is better game. And it's like, brother, that game came out in 1997 and it didn't know what it was doing. And we know that because if a game came out that was exactly like that now, everybody would hate it. So
everyone would have a problem with it.
Everybody would hate it.
Why is this so clunky?
Exactly.
I mean, here's the thing. I'll always love Mario 64. It will have a special place in my heart.
Yes.
Playing that game today is sometimes aggravating as hell. It's just the camera's clunky. The controls are a little clunky. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm. And that's
I'm getting my daily spam call for the day. Hold up.
That's the thing that makes it a little different in like kind of awkward to talk about games as art, because they're art, but they're also products and they're also technology. So there's certain things that are objective about, like, well, this game objectively does this better than this game. This game doesn't run objectively, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that it's important to acknowledge those things. And I think that what a lot of people try to do with the older games, because they want to have them crystallized with these specific numbers, is like, forget that, because that didn't matter then, so it shouldn't matter now. And it's like, well, no, that's not how it works. Because if a game came out tomorrow, and it happens, literally, people are like, ew, the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Final Fantasy 7 looks like a PlayStation 4 game. But when it was a PlayStation 4 game, it was like, oh, it looks real. You know what I mean? And that's why those opinions shouldn't be like crystallized. They shouldn't just be this thing that we should stand by forever.
The thing is, it is always okay to like think about a game within its time period and be like, historically, it, like Mario 64 defined how 3D platforms were going to be built from there on out. Yes. Like as soon as it came out. That being said, like if you're trying to go like, what's the best game ever? Like you can't take it within its historical context. You have to take it in with everything. Because
important doesn't have to mean best.
Yeah.
Like the best form of communication is not carrier pigeon. It was important to the history of communication, but that doesn't make it the best.
It is also, everyone's best game is going to be completely different. It's going to be way too hard to come up with an objective best game. Yes. There's just no way to do it.
That's why numbers are stupid. We come back. We're here again.
Yo, fuck math, fuck numbers. We out. Oh, I swore. Sorry.
You've been swearing this whole time.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
It got a little spicy, and then it hit me at the last minute. Like,
So I think this is the last thing that we need to talk about. Is Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Oh yeah.
So if you haven't finished Donkey Kong Bonanza, I don't mean 100%. I'm talking to the listener. And I don't mean 100% because I didn't 100% this game. I might do it eventually in life, but there's other stuff to play, man. I can't be 100% in games in this economy. But we're done, so we're talking about it as if we're done. So if you're not done and you don't want to be spoiled, leave and see you next week. Goodbye. Or if you're in the stream right now, come back and me and Colton get on Pokemon. There will be another go live notification. So Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah,
let's talk. Let's start with the plot, man. Because but the last time when I talked to you, I said, "What do you think is gonna happen with the whole like Pauline and Donkey Kong and who's the big bad?" And we guessed, or you guessed.
Yep.
And there's a spin. And you saw what happened.
Yeah, I was pretty confident that King K. Rool was coming back, and I was correct.
Yes.
And I saw it coming, but the way that it was delivered was really exciting.
Yeah.
It did get me off guard because I saw the thing. I was like, that looks weird. That something feels off, whatever. And then when it's revealed that like what was thought to be the bananium root was that like gross bulge ended up being his stomach. I was like, oh my God, how did I not see that immediately?
It's that. And then the other thing that like, because people were like, this came out of nowhere. This didn't make any sense. The off rip, the enemies, the like skeletal friggin' they're Kremlings, dude. Like, how do people not immediately know that?
I saw the Kremlings, and then I also saw that like, how every enemy ended up being within the boulders and previous enemies was such a treat when I found out that the buzzards were those bat things. Yep. And like I should have put those pieces together earlier. I was just kind of like really honed in on like that's a Kremling skeleton. I just completely forgot everything else. Like, oh yeah, the birds. Oh, the armadillo. Oh yeah, duh.
Yep.
But I think my favorite part, like I love all three parts of the K. Rool fight. I thought they were really fun. Especially hearing Gangplank Galleon play again as you're fighting him in phase 2 was just so nice.
W song.
My thing is the thing I love most about Donkey Kong Bonanza is just it has such a big heart.
Yeah.
It like Pauline's story and her relationship with Donkey Kong is just so strong and so heartfelt. Like it made me feel warm and just like, this is the cutest shit I've ever seen. Yeah, I did it again.
I mean, we're already here, man. I'm not censoring nothing. But whatever algorithm is just going to have to deal with it, man. I'm sorry. If Apple Podcast yells at me, unfortunate.
But the thing is that like it was just such like you could feel the love and the passion and everything that went into the project. It's what I love about like when Nintendo just nails it and you can feel that. Yes, Nintendo is corporation, but the developers and the storytellers behind every game
that work on these things.
Yeah, they put a lot of heart and attention and love into what they do. And just like the whole ending was just great. I loved it. I don't know what the plot line is with
the theory. I think they just
the timeline.
I think they were just like that other Pauline. She does not exist. She's not real. This is the real, actual Pauline. The other lady, the thing she's somebody else.
She's an imposter. Get out of there. I mean, for me, it's
And it
I
could
think it just
still be like
confirms.
that could be her grandma or whatever because Cranky Kong is still like he still references that whole
Yeah.
thing. So it could
Well,
be
I
like
think I,
she's Pauline Jr. Like
well, I think it confirms one thing, and that's one of my favorite theories about the Nintendo timeline, and that's that all of it is a stage play. They're all
yeah.
actors,
Uh-huh.
and it really makes sense with the design philosophy we were talking about last time, where it's just like they figure out a game they want to make. They know what they want to be a Mario game, and then they build the story to be whatever it needs to be to fit around that.
Exactly.
Um, and it just kind of like, I don't know if it's me, like it's me just going, this is the best copium that I can currently have right now that's really working for me. I think it makes so much more sense for them just all to be actors. It's why they all do all the kart games and Mario parties afterwards. It's just they're just hanging out doing what they want. um but I completely irrelevant to the game in my opinion. The rest of it is just, I thought it was great. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think 100%ing it, getting like 999 bananas is dumb, and I'm not going to do it.
I thought it's 777 bananas, I think.
Yeah, it's, you can get every skill and everything you need to get a ton more bananas, which means you
Yeah.
need to farm chips, which means you got to
Yeah.
cash in.
Yeah.
And I just, at some point, I was just like, no,
Yeah.
actually, I think I could do this, but I don't have 4 hours to sit there and hit confirm a
I think
100 more times for bananas.
I could see myself eventually doing it. It's not something
Mhm.
like I'm gonna do it at the pace that like they expect you to complete like Smash Brothers games, where it's like yeah, there's that challenge world, or whatever. There's no world that they think you're gonna do that in a year. They think you're going to do that through the life of you playing the video game, and you might eventually clear every challenge. And that's how I think I'm thinking about 100% in Bonanza, where it's just like I feel like playing Donkey Kong Bonanza, and there's still more that I can do because I can still 100% it. So I'll go back and I'll do it. I have no intention to like grind it out. It's just I feel like getting some bananas right now.
Yeah,
That's how
it's
I'm looking at it.
when I'm ready to go back and just enjoy playing the game again, because it is just fun to go
Just break
break
stuff,
and run
yeah.
around. Yeah. Then yeah. Then I'll go for all those bananas. But as it stands right now, I completed the game how I wanted to. It was great. I want more, but knowing that either I'm waiting for DLC that's never going to come, or just
Or a sequel.
yeah, and I'll just like it was great. I can't wait for me to do my second playthrough of it in 3-4 years.
I still never replayed Odyssey. I don't replay these games. The only time I replay a game is if for content. Like
I
I
replayed.
replayed Breath of the Wild a few times because I did the no pants run, and then
Mm,
I forgot what the other Breath of the Wild thing that I did, but I replayed the Master Trial thing, Master Run or whatever, the hero
yeah,
mode.
I replayed Odyssey a little bit. I just go until I like, it's really just me going, I want to experience this gameplay, and nothing really came out that I'm interested in that
Mm.
looks like it's going to scratch that itch right now. So I just want to platform and be Mario for a while. So I'll just play like, up through New Donk City and be like, all right, I got my fix.
I feel that.
Silk Song dropped. I'm ready to go.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
What's the other thing? There was something else that I was like, yo, homework thoughts on this thing. But I think that overall I think the gameplay was really strong. I think the story is fun and interesting and all that other good old dear stuff. They did the lore thing that they always do. Nintendo's always good with lore. We talked about the last time where it's like their stories are like whatever, but their lore is pretty good. They're like
Mhm.
lore masters. Um,
Yeah, the lore that is needed for context of the world and the surprises that surround it is all done very, very well.
right. And they don't care at
They've always done
all
great.
about story. They're like, whatever the story thing. Save the world. That's all you need to know. And it doesn't really matter what the game is. I think the only real exception is like there are RPGs like Xenoblade. Then they care a little bit more. But everything else, they're like, man, whatever happens, happen, man. My theory was there's RP in chat. My theory was K. Rool. Oh, for who you thought was the thing, the Void Code boss enhancing himself or him using some sort of reanimation jutsu. I just thought it was. I didn't know if like what the connection was between him and Void Code. I just assumed that it was going to be like, yo, K. Rool is the guy behind everything the whole time. I didn't put any thought at all between how those dots would be connected. I just saw a Kremling and I was like, K. Rool's here for something. That was my whole basis of what I thought and why I thought it.
If you listen to Cranky's speeches, it's very clear that like Donkey Kong went to go mine, K. Rool decided to go do some shenanigans. Yeah. I caught wind of what it was as far as like what was happening or like how he was going to work in.
That was the other thing.
I just didn't.
There was a world that I was telling you, I was like, this is a cool, I like this mechanic, and like this was a good example of like how I think the game is really smart about different mechanics that it does, and there's like a very Breath of the Wild-esque kind of thing. But the food world, the fact that the game differentiates between what is food and what is not food is very smart in how they do it. Like the fact that you can like throw the fries in like the deep fry thing and then it like engages with it like that. And the fact that there's like the tie that like you can get health if you punch food. Like that's a very smart mechanic. There's like the like lightning world. I think is it the lightning world? Yeah, it's the lightning world where like it rains or whatever and you like use the materials as an umbrella. That was a cool use of the mechanic. There's the other one where there's the zip line and you use chunks to like slide down the zip line. That was a very smart
and
use.
The durability mattered. And
yep, exactly.
Yep.
There's so many things like that in this game where like the core, like, yo, wouldn't it be cool if break, pick up, smash? It's so cool. Like they did so many things with that core concept and expanded from it.
They did such a good job with using terrain as a mechanic and material as a mechanic.
Yeah.
Of being able to be like, that's dirt. It's not going to do a whole lot. This is explosive. This lights the way, but slowly dies. Ice functions as you would expect ice to, but snow is like nothing. And
you could like build like certain like the dirt, like you could build on dirt. That's how I got a decent amount of bananas, where I just built up a structure with dirt, and then I climbed up there and I broke the banana.
There was God, what was it? I can't remember if it was a challenge room or it was the late game Bonanza trials. I think it was the Elephant Bonanza trials where when they introduced the ability to swap terrains so you could make gold bouncy stuff in the disco area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then later on they make an entire challenge of like you need to be swapping between them because each property had different uses depending on how you used it. Mm-hmm. It was so clever. I loved it.
It's very smart in that way. I wasn't expecting that. When they first revealed the game, it was like, ooh, smash things. That's cool. But then like that's where it like when I actually started playing the game, and I had an inkling that it was like, I think this game is a little bit more Breath of the Wild than Mario Odyssey. And then playing it, I was like, yeah, that's what they did. They did the chemistry engine thing, where it's like, yo, the world around you engages with itself in ways that you might not have expected prior to playing the video game. And that's very cool. I wish more games did that. Does Expedition 33 do that?
I mean, it's a bit more classic in its RPG sort of things. I think it's more of the storytelling being the key mechanic. I mean, it uses its systems well. they built a system where, yeah, you can beat the game, and be strong
full
enough.
circle moment. I think we get Expedition 33 at the Nintendo Direct. Why not?
I was gonna say that. I was like, I bet you they drop Expedition 33 for it.
I can see it. It works on Steam Deck.
Yeah, I think the thing that Expedition 33 did that Bonanza kind of does the same thing, where it's like its Picto system is by itself just an easy way to equip better skills and make your guys stronger. But if you do the right builds, you can break the game to the point where you're doing like billions of damage with a single attack.
I saw people doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
I think that's usually, and maybe Breath of the Wild is responsible for this. But for me, like at this point, like the games that are like, obviously this is game of the year. Those kinds of games to me are like, they contribute something that every game could learn from. And I think for me, like Bonanza does that. There's things about that game, like the first thing that what we were talking about, and what I made my video on about, like just how it's like unashamed with just being fun. Like that's what it cares the most about. It doesn't care about trying to punish the player. It doesn't care about trying to funnel you in this very specific way. It's like, I'm going to be fun, and challenge is important because friction in video games and blah, blah, blah. But we can do that and still just be dumb fun. I think that like that was like the base layer of it, but what goes beneath that is them continuing to build on this idea of like emergent gameplay, of like this thing happened in your game and it didn't happen in nobody else's game, and it's entirely because of the systems that we built in, and that's why,
I mean, I guess to that point, for me, what Claire Obscure does that I don't think other games this year have really done is truly made like how it does its storytelling, though it feel like I'm trying to phrase this the right way, but like
this was
I
like
think how it delivered
the thing that we were talking about before, because I was talking about how game storytelling, because I haven't played the game yet, to be clear. You know this, but I want to make clear to everybody else I haven't played it yet. I do plan to play it because everybody won't shut up about it, so I feel like I gotta play it. Also, I feel like it'll be important. I think it's important context because I want to make the Pokemon video, and I think that's a good, since everybody keeps talking about it, I think it's a good example, for better or worse, to make the Pokemon video.
I think it'll be a very good play for you. Whether or not you think the game is game of the year, I think is to be determined, but I think it's good for you to experience it, because I think you will take something new away.
Yeah. I think I feel pretty good about the chances that happens. It just needs to come out on Switch too, and I'm down. I'll play it.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to derail. I just wanted to see if that brought up what you were talking about, because I remember we were talking about the me saying that I don't think a good like narrative exists in video games, because most of them are just like, and all of them, it's either they're like an approximation of film, or they're like very, very like surface level choose your own adventure sort of things, and some of them go a little bit deeper in that choose your own adventure thing, but they usually are able to be like segmented off into like, this is ending A and this is ending B, and it's not like, well, this is what happened in my game because I lived a different life than you. It's just like, I choose this branch and you chose that branch.
No, I think for me, I think this is the closest I do think, a lot of the storytelling is very cinematic and feels, does have elements of it being very film oriented with a lot of its storytelling. And there are a few minutes or like 2 moments that I'm like, damn it. The gameplay just absolutely undercut this moment. There's one particular moment, and I know when you play it, I always tell everyone that I recommend the game to is like, text me when you finish Act 1. And I know what you're gonna say when you finish Act 1. But there's just a moment that gets kind of undercut because of gameplay mechanics. And I'm actually planning on doing 2 videos. One talking about the brilliance of the storytelling of Clair Obscur and how it's able to tell 3 complete stories that feel like one full cohesive narrative. Mm-hmm. And then I'm doing a second one just about that particular. I don't want to spoil anything, but like one about like how a specific mechanic that every game tends to have ruins every story in gaming. But I think Clair Obscur is the closest I've seen to a game have phenomenal top to bottom storytelling with game mechanics that felt like it all blended together well. And also breathing life back into the turn-based RPG style. Because, I mean, they're not doing necessarily anything especially new. Like Legend of Dragoon has done it before. Super Mario RPG has done it before, where it's like hitting certain actions, do things. But it's blended all of those elements together in a new way that makes turn-based battles feel a lot less you go, no, I go, no, you go, no, I go.
I am curious. This is another thing that I wanted to talk about too, because I talked about this with Pete from Flip Screen Games. We talked about Pokemon and whatnot. And I did mention, because he brought up the video game too. I feel like whenever I have this conversation, there's whenever I talk about Pokemon specifically, there's 2 things that always come up. It's in 2025, it's Expedition 33, and it's people being like, and I don't think that you don't do this because you never got into VGC. You're like a lot closer to like the casual Pokemon fan that I know in my life. That's like, yo, I don't care about this battle system. It's just what it's just what the game is. And it just is what it is. But people that are VGC fans always bring up that it's chess. And I said it in the show. I was like, if you say that it's chess, I'm going to blow my brains out. Because it's like, it's not. But they always bring it up. With this, I think a thing that's funny about how like people that like, and I don't think you're like this as much. Like, you like them more. Than I do, of course. But people that are like trying to advocate for turn-based RPGs always bring up RPGs that are like cosplaying action RPGs as examples of why turn-based RPGs can still have value. Like the parry system in Expedition 33, as I understand it, maybe it's a flaw of my understanding, but it very much sounds like they're implementing action mechanics into the turn-based video game. It's still turn-based, but it feels less turn-based than without it.
This is the hard thing, is that turn-based RPGs, they find their roots in like tabletop gaming, like Dungeons and Dragons, right? Where turn-based is how you do it on tabletop, because you can't just start punching your friends or the DM. You can't do it. So it's a way for you to engage and do stuff, and it being theatrical to you and your friends. When we move that to games, like initially, I don't know if this is my hot take. I think most people would agree with me at this point, is like in the early days of RPGs, turn-based made sense because it was like you're doing these big epic things. Yeah. And so you need to have time to do them. We're beyond that now. We've passed the point where turn-based games make sense.
I've been saying that.
No, it's not a hot take for you.
That's what I said. In my Pokemon video, what I said is I think that Pokemon games lack fidelity, and I don't mean visual fidelity. I mean in its gameplay. Like, the game is telling you that you're doing something specific, right? And we have the technology to show and play that thing, but it's being limited by the fact that it's anchored to this gameplay mechanic that people have grown to love that started as a means to an end. It was like when Pokemon first came out, and especially on the Game Boy, it's like, how do we like illustrate this world that we want to pitch to people? The best way to do it is an RPG, because the RPG is what will allow you to at least fill in the blanks yourself. Whereas like a platformer would have been like, well, this doesn't have anything to do with the world that you're trying to paint in my head, you know. But now it's just like you don't need that. It's kind of like what if you look at Zelda on the NES and then you look at Breath of the Wild. That's what they did. They said, oh, okay, let's up the fidelity here. Let's make it actually play like what we wanted it to feel like in your head when you think about it.
Yeah, and so I think naturally what happened if you just look at the Final Fantasy franchise, it shows you exactly how it went. It went from turn-based to sort of this quasi weird sort of not action but not turn-based to just full action, where Final Fantasy VII Remake is action and Final Fantasy 16 is action, 15 is action.
Right.
And I think what you're starting to see is like there's still a very strong nostalgic sense. And a lot of people that like, I liked turn-based. I liked what that did for me in the past. Like, I'm still a huge fan of Super Mario RPG. I love it to death. But like, you have to have another level of patience.
Mario RPG. Is Mario RPG's gameplay like Paper Mario?
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't want to say a prototype, because I think Super Mario RPG is not better? As good. I think it's on par with Thousand Year Door.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to say it's better. I think it's better than most of the anything after.
Yeah, like the
Thousand Year Door. It's pretty. But
I just wanted clarification on that, because I think that like those are another example of like there might as well be action RPGs. Like they're turn-based in the sense where it's like a short turn, it's my turn, it's your turn, it's my turn, kinda. But I think that understanding is like it shows a limited understanding of what action games are. You know, because like at the end of the day, everything is a turn-based game. Like fighting games are turn-based games. It's like, okay, I'm taking my turn. It's my turn to do damage. All right, it's your turn to do damage, you know? And that is a spectrum even within that, you know, like Smash Brothers is less of a turn-based game than Street Fighter is, because Street Fighter is like, I'm in advantage state, it's my turn and you can't do nothing about it. The only thing that you can do is hope that I mess up. Whereas Smash Brothers is like, well, I can do something here to make you mess up, or to make it, to give myself a window to escape from your advantage state. But at the end of the day, it's still like my turn to do damage and your turn to take damage. But turn-based just kind of take the execution out of that.
I think what the biggest issue is as turn-based started to age, is we started seeing games that were doing the cool stuff we wanted to do, while giving me agency in the fight. And that's always been what was troubling with turn-based games, was that you didn't have agency. And so it was either you enjoy the thoughtful, slowed down strategy of making sure that you're picking all the right moves to do what you need to do.
Right.
Or you just kind of had a bit of a dud and it was kind of boring. It struggled in this age where you have games with a lot of agency. What I think Claire Obscure does is taking the turn-based, like that core formula of what people enjoyed about turn-based, but giving agency back to the player to give them a chance to have an advantage over the enemy.
Right.
And I think that's what
I love agency.
Yeah.
That's why I play video games for is agency. That's what I wanted. That's what I want. they're supposed to give me that.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, the pairing system and the dodging system, it does bring in some action elements, but it's done in a way where it feels like it still fits within this turn-based world, while giving the player the agency they need to feel like they're in control of the fight.
Right. That makes sense.
And I think with RPGs, I think that's kind of a key mechanic. Like, yeah, with fighting games, both players need to feel like they have agency in their they can gain control of the fight. When you're doing something against PvE, the player, like all players involved, need to feel like they have a way to turn the tide of the battle if they're just good enough.
Right.
And so I never found myself really having to grind in Clair Obscur until the very, very late game when I decided I personally wanted to do 1 billion damage with a single attack,
which is fair.
Then I had to grind.
I think
it was
that
a choice
kind
I
of
made.
thing is good. I think if like it's the same. Me and Colton, we're playing through other Pokemon games. We played through X and Y, and in X and Y, there's this facility called Battle Chateau where it has like a class system, and as you go up the ranks, you battle other people that also are on the same rank as you, and they have a lot of money. So what me and Colin were doing was we were being capitalists, and we were like, we want to get as much money as we could possibly get. And then the process of getting this money, our Pokemon became very strong, and we just steamrolled through everything else. But it was still fun because we were doing the other thing, like the other attached part of it. Granted, I personally think it would be more fun if the battles themselves were also fun. If it was less of like, because games like the Pokemon games as they exist right now, it's like it's the destination is the destination. I want the journey to be the destination. I want the like as I'm playing the game to be fun. I don't want like it to be a cerebral thing. And like I think Pokemon's fun because the team building and like you get your team. You kind of have to convince yourself that the game is fun. Whereas like other games, like the proximity to fun is a lot closer. And I don't think we talked about ZA at all. What are your thoughts on ZA? What do you think? We got a new ZA trailer.
I'm not going to get
You're
it.
You're not getting it? You're not getting ZA?
No.
Wow.
No,
why not?
I'm at the point now where I'm just like, I see Pokemon, I'm like, you know what? It's not for me anymore. I'm out.
Did you play Arceus at all?
A little bit.
Did you like it?
It was all right.
People love Arceus. I don't.
I know people love it. I understand. I saw how much more engaging it was. Yeah. As a Pokemon game.
Right. I'll say I agree with you. Know. Like I said, I don't like the game. That's why that's why I explained earlier, Will is like, yo, basically AJ's the canary in the coal mine. He'll let me know when it's safe to go back inside and play Pokemon again. and that's the axe that I take up. And I think that ZA will be better and closer. I still don't think it'll be like good. Yeah,
it's just
it'll be a good Pokemon game, but it won't be a good game.
I'm just not interested anymore. I mean, I barely know any more Pokemon beyond Gen 1. I've never picked up any, like...
That's crazy.
Every time I went back and played, I tried to pick up these new ones, and I'm just like, this is just too many fucking Pokemon. I can't do this.
That's crazy. I thought you would have at least got to, like, Gen 3. You strike me as a Gen 3. Fall off.
No, that was the thing. I never got Gen 2 or Gen 3. My parents never bought it for me when I was a kid. And for whatever reason, I guess I was just okay with it. I was just like, well, Red was mine. And as soon as I went, they added how many more new Pokemon? That's too many Pokemon.
That's too many Pokemon.
And now we're up to like
1,000.
Well over 1,000.
There's like, I think there's like 1,003 or something. Well, technically now that we got the Mega Evolutions, there's like 1,000 and like probably like 1,030 or something like that when everything's all said and done. Probably it would be my assumption.
Yeah. So I'm just like, for me, the turn base has to be very specific now for me to get into it.
Yeah.
I mean, Sea of Stars, I thought was really well done because it did a good job with its braking system. And then Clair Obscur, obviously, and then the Super Mario RPG remake. I wasn't not going to play that. It was my favorite RPG from when I was a kid. So, it's just like for me, Pokemon is just like I feel so out of the loop that like even thinking about going back in, I'm like, it's kind of intimidating. I don't know if I know all these Pokemon.
So that's the thing that would be cool if the gameplay was good. Like I would highly recommend it if the game was fun. Because I think it like that moment of like, what is that? That Pokemon is that you like you get to you have that moment again when you're a kid. Because when you're a kid, I'm sure you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
like that one. I want to catch that. I want to add that one to my team. But it's not really worth it if
Yeah,
the
I
gameplay
mean, I think the only reason I pushed through Sword and Shield was because it was doing well on Twitch for me.
that makes sense.
It was doing really well for me. It's like, all right, I guess I'll keep raiding and playing Pokemon. This seems fine. I thought about shiny hunting, and then I saw
No,
what you have to do
yeah,
that, and I'm
no,
like, that's not for me,
yeah,
man.
no. It's I'll say it's better in the newer games because you
Yeah,
actually see them. And it's like, oh, that one over there, I'm gonna catch that. And the other thing I'll say is, hopefully, if the game ever becomes good, and I'm the canary in the coal mine, I tell everybody, all right, you can come in here. The thing that was really fun about the last one for me is I played through the entire video game with Trev. And have you ever met? No, you never met Youth. You've like she's been like in chat when you're like here.
sure.
But I don't think you've ever physically met her.
No, I don't think so.
My friend Youth, who has never played a Pokemon game, has no attachment to Pokemon whatsoever. She like watched Pokemon the movie like a year ago with her godson.
Yeah.
I forced her to play it. I was like, you got to play Pokemon. Because we're going to play it, and it's going to be an anime, and we're going to be Ash and Brock and Misty, and it's going to be great. So me, Trev, and my friend Youth, and also Alec. Alec is baking, who I'm sure you've seen in chat. We all played a game, and that's what it was. It was like she didn't know how to play the game, and she would see us get certain Pokemon and be like, oh, that Pokemon's cute. I want that. And I'm like, yo, okay, let me physically show you where the Pokemon is. Because you can all be in the same world in Scarlet and Violet, and I walked her to the like that kind of thing, I think would be very fun, assuming that the gameplay becomes good. To be like us all play the game, and it's like, oh, the anime thing, and I'm teaching you about like that Pokemon does this, blah, blah, blah. But no, the game's not that yet. So
I can't remember if we had this discussion or if I had this with Tom. We like talking. It's kind of crazy that like they haven't just made like a Nuzlocke mode.
Oh, that's never happening. That's never happening.
It's not going to happen. But it is one of those things where it's just like it would be such a great acknowledgement of what the community does with the games.
But I don't think they want to acknowledge that. I think that
they don't want to acknowledge what the fan base does with their games ever, unless it's stealing them.
No, they absolutely do. I think that there's a lot of things that the fan base does that they do want to acknowledge, but this very specifically being like, yo, here's the death mode for Pokemon. I think that that's something that they don't want to acknowledge, because to them it's like, Pokemon is supposed to be approachable to the same people that like freaking Bluey is supposed to be approachable to, and Bluey's not gonna be like, here's the game where you could shoot Bluey. I'm like, so I think that that's kind of why they wouldn't do it. I think that
that's fair. That's in universe, in world, we've talked about how they like their lore and how they build stuff. Like, your Pokemon dying, I guess,
and Pokemon
probably would be problematic.
And to be clear, Pokemon do die. There's dark stuff in Pokemon, but with it being a core part of the gameplay, where if you lose it, all your Pokemon are dead, I don't think that's something that they want to touch with a 10-foot pole. I think that they're fine with like different spins on the formula and like different things that the fan base is doing, because I think that a lot of that has influenced where they're at now. Like Legends Arceus, I would argue, is a very direct response to a lot of the things that the fan base was doing, where they're like, oh, people want to be able to catch the Pokemon like out in the overworld just by throwing the Pokeball at it and like that kind of thing. There's fan games that were doing stuff like that before Pokemon Legends Arceus came out, and they made this. So I do think they would want to do it. It just needs to be in line, and that I think is where a lot of the fan feedback is like very misaligned with reality, where how they read it is like, they just don't want me to play with my toy, and it's like, no, they just don't want the toy to be used in ways that isn't in alignment with what the toy is supposed to be, and not even in the kind of like very like Japanese, like, I prepared the meal for you, so eat the meal that I prepared for you, in the sense that it's like, well, this is a baby bottle, don't put vodka in it, because what happens if the baby drinks the baby bottle and there's vodka in it?
Yeah, but I will say I think to a degree they almost do it too much, and I think
I don't disagree with
there
that.
are. Yeah, I think there's times where it's like, yeah, the baby bottle maybe could have some juice today. You
Yeah,
know, so
yes, I
yeah,
agree with yes.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
where I'm at. I'm just
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I think that those streams get crossed too much, and it doesn't have that context. It's just everything all
Sure.
get like today. I sent this DM in the travel where it's like I unsubscribed from what's his name, Penguin Zero, Moist Critical Charlie, whatever you know him as.
Whoa,
I unsubscribed
whoa.
for, you know him, right? You know that guy.
Yeah, I know who you.
Yeah. I just wanted to
Yeah,
make sure
everyone knows.
you. I just wanted to make sure that you knew. I unsubscribed from him
Yeah.
because so much of his content randomly is like Nintendo was the biggest villain ever because they didn't let Mango, who deep throated a trophy, play at their like that kind of thing. Where it's like I, as adult man that has very like adult sense of humor, want to play child's video game, and I think that it's fine that I want to play child video game in this way, and they should be able to be okay with that. So they're evil if they're not. That kind of thing. Like he makes a lot of content like that. So he made another video where it's like everybody. I don't even remember what the title was, but it was something along the lines of like yet another reason to hate Nintendo. And I'm like, I don't care if you hate Nintendo. That's fine. That's your prerogative. But it's very weird to have a hate boner for anything. I think that's very strange to like make it part of your personality that you hate something.
Yeah, I will say I do think there are a few people that just come on just a little too strong when it comes to Nintendo's evil corporate overlord, where it's just like, I mean, yes, but also,
no,
what isn't?
Because y'all, not y'all as in you, but these people, like,
How dare you?
They have this like evil corporation energy for Nintendo, but not for actual evil corporations. Like the second that you talk about protesting actual evil, it's like this is too political for me. But like you want to use political language for protesting the toy company, like I think that's crazy.
Yeah, well, and I also don't think that it's like we're not saying this in a way of just like, oh no, just accept everything. Like,
Yeah, no,
I think we've done
that's not
plenty of
what I'm
criticism
saying.
here on Nintendo itself.
That's not what I'm
It's just
saying
like,
at all. It's like
Yeah, no, yeah.
have reasonable criticisms, and I don't mean this in defense of them. I mean this as a an expectation for people to be reasonable human beings. Just generally, just be reasonable. Like
yeah,
that's not trying to like parlay favor for them to make you be nicer. I don't care if you're nice to Nintendo. I just think that you're being unreasonable.
yeah.
But that's that. I think.
Yeah, so maybe I'll go. So you tell me when I can go back to Pokemon, and I will dip my toe.
Maybe. I'll tell you if Pokemon ZA is fun. Because I think that's the base thing. Like I don't think you need the perfect Pokemon game for me to be like you should play this game. I think the perfect Pokemon game is like that's the threshold for Will. Like I think Will, that he needs the perfect Pokemon game. I think you would get enjoyment out of something like Legends EA, assuming that the execution is good. So I'll let you know if the execution is good.
Yeah, let me know if the execution's good. I think it does things. I'll say that it looks more interesting to me than previous title, like even more so than Arceus. I think.
Yeah,
it seems more appealing. So
because that game still had a lot of the problems that Scarlet and Violet ended up having. People are just they just ignore them because the gameplay is better. But
right,
yeah. But yeah,
we've been talking for like
we're
2.5 hours.
We're done. I'll we'll report back when you play ZA or when I play ZA, I guess.
When you play ZA, you tell me.
Five
and then I'll tell you.
episodes from now, it should be ZA time. No, it's the 10th currently. So 5 episodes from now, ZA should be out, and I should be able to tell you if the game is good or not. So Great. We'll see you then. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Later.
Bye.